baby. Wonder if all my bad decisions get accounted in the algorithms. No statistician could dissuade me from my bigger vision. I know my occupation's quite an unlikely place in this world to occupy and talk about upon a daily basis. Our information's predetermined by some biased business. We all in sermon to silicon that push our lovely neighbors. I'm done with paper chasing, think I'm on to bigger banquets. This that full circle, new wave, energy on a Tuesday. Turn a blue day to a bright hue, yellow with a smooth A in hair. Extra fruit, the brand. You can't move me. The music is man. It's a con job, but it's grand. I'm blessed with a great hand amongst many that stand. Yeah, it took some hard work, but blind luck play a huge role. If they say that it don't, when they feeding you fool's gold. And if I know one thing, the truth's home. Even if it's a tough thing to swallow, an even harder thing to hold and truly know without a doubt while on the globe. And even though that seems inherent, it ain't always so apparent. Dangle carrot, you ain't always gonna get it. But don't worry, it's a pretty February in a year with more to carry and more days is yet to come. Under the sun, taking the ferry to the city where the moment's extra pretty, like the people, like the idea that I keep inside my brain that isn't equal to the real world. All that stress ain't saving me fear though. I swear to God I'm trying, but they pushing their demons down my esophagus, screaming the easy life, what I want always. Praise made up holidays, tell me that love is the answer just to boost this economy. Buy more sell now, but I ain't following. I ain't a hollow man, I'm full of them fall winds. Take it all with a tall grin, and if you feel it, do it with me, and just sing what the song says. Take it all for what it is. It ain't all so big. So big, so big, so big. Take it all for what it is. What it is, what it is, what it is, what it is. It ain't all so big. It ain't all so big.
Hello, hello, hello. Hey, y'all. It's me. It is me. It is Security Boss. And this is Unsolicited. And guess what, guys? We are here with another Good Friday. Y'all, this past week was amazingly fast. I don't know if y'all felt that way or not, but I don't even recall anything I did. It went by so quick. Not complaining, just doing some observation on how it went. But guess what? Today is a Good Friday. We got a good topic. If y'all have not already sneaked and checked out that topic, it's just a continuation. It's if she came with stipulations. We're going to leave her in the restaurant. Part 2. Ladies, this is just for ladies and gentlemen. Ladies, this is just me letting you all know it's not that hard and it's okay. Men, it's just letting you all know, be on the pursuit. Remain who you are and don't change. It's fine. Wait a minute now. Let me qualify that, because I done met some. As long as you're a good guy and you're kind and remain that man. If you something else, you got to fix that. But anyway, we ain't gonna talk about that. As y'all already know, my co-host. Mr. Boss is in the back. You know, I've never called him my co-host before, but I should actually call him my number one co-host. Y'all hear him in the background. Cheer me on. But anyway, hey, Mr. Boss, how are you? So anyway, dearly beloved. So anyway, I got a few announcements and I'm gonna say hello to a few people, and then we're gonna get right into this. And y'all know halfway through, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat, and I want to hear from you all too. I need to hear what you all think, and I want to hear what you all think. And you know, it's all love here. We want to recap, not really recap. We're gonna sum some things up and we're gonna leave it where it is, because you know we can't change everybody. You're only supposed to plant a seed. Not all will get it, but it's actually someone else's job to water. And I y'all understand where I'm coming from. All right, so listen. Thank you guys for going over to my channel and going to SB Gear and purchasing things. I mean, I am so ready to see them 5 stars. I've already told y'all, but I want to see some pictures. Y'all got to send me something. Put your gear on And I got to figure out a way to incorporate this in my, intro or something. But I need to see the 5 stars walking down the street. No, I'm just not kidding, not walking. But I just need to see the 5 stars. That would just make me so proud. But I appreciate you all so much for going over to the channel, going to SB Gear and purchasing something fancy. I can't wait to see the hat. Hey, Miss Britt. Hey, all of you all. So I'm going to get to that in just a minute. You just caught my eye. But fancy, I want to see that hat because I'm the only person I ever seen in a hat and I love them. I do, but I want to make sure because I know, some women love to wear caps. I'm one of them when I'm just, so I got to see that on you. So I definitely appreciate that. But anyway, I just appreciate you all for going over to SB Nation and, going over to my channel and going to the gear and purchasing. That is so lovely. Y'all don't understand. I love that. Okay, the other thing was last night I was on Miss Real Femme Sapiens channel. Shout out to Miss Allie. If y'all did not see it, y'all got to go over and look at the replay. It was an outstanding show. Listen, guys, made me proud because it was 88 years of marriage up on the panel. It was 7 women. Family Values, Jazz, how are you? So listen, guys. If y'all not familiar with Jazz on Family Values, she's been to my channel a few times, but I need y'all to go over there sometime today. Check out her channel. She's a mother of 7. Jazz, you doing it, girl. And she still has time to come over here and talk to us and run her own platform. I need y'all to go over to Family Values, subscribe to the channel, click that alert button, and make sure you give them some love. Also, was a young lady by the name of Martine Carla. Oh, y'all, Carla. Jesus, Carla was married longer than I. Carla was married 30, I think she said 33 years. And y'all don't even get me lying, but I think Carla said she had 10 plus kids. Woo, yeah. Anyway, shout out to Carla. And then there was Liz. And of course, Rebecca was there. And y'all know Rebecca is a new mama. And she's down with 1. And Allie doesn't have any kids. But we were all there talking. And it was nice. It was a very good environment. There was nothing crazy going on. No cutting people off. It was just a good environment. I appreciate it. So again, if you don't know who Real Femme is, go over to her channel, check it out, subscribe to her channel, and also Rebecca. Make sure you go onto Rebecca's channel and shout her out too. And then Family Values. I think those were the only 3 that actually have channels that you can actually view the ladies with. And now I would definitely appreciate that. And listen, I am so glad so many of you all showed up. I think it was the Riding Six, Danny. I can't remember the Gray Pill podcast. He was there. It was a few of them. And I am so glad that y'all do that. I appreciate, I'm not going to say y'all follow me, but I'm glad that y'all following me. Or I just say I'm glad we end up in the same place. I appreciate that. Y'all got the explosion for that. And I want y'all to continue to do that. I love the support and I love the fact that y'all are where I'm at. So that's cool. What was it? The Standard. This coming Sunday at 6 p.m. will be the last show of The Standard. This show will be all of us together. This is going to be an exciting show. I'm not going to give y'all the topic, but they're going to be helping me out, right? They're going to be helping me. I can't give you the topic because it's going to be good. So they're going to be helping me out. But I need for y'all to be there. This is going to be the last final show of The Standard, unless you all say no. Because there's a lot of standards out there. I've been checking no. There's a lot of people that I've come across that I see, young folks, the next generation, I see to be a standard. I think they got the heads on straight and everything. So we can keep this going. But it's up to you all. But the final show for the 4 that were there previously will be on Sunday. But if you all want to keep it going, I'm there with you. Like I said, though, there's a lot of other young people that we can definitely spotlight and talk to and just get what's going on in their head. It's a lot of them. So I definitely appreciate that. But it's up to you guys. If y'all want to continue with The Standard, just let me know and we can continue to do that. So now, before the show gets started, I want to say hello to a few people. And then we're going to start from there. Daryl Long, how are you? Stephen Day, hey, Shelby, it's good to see y'all. Listen, y'all have been going crazy with them comments. Brittany B, it's good to see you. Brittany says, yes, fellas, stay like Angryman. Stay like them. Oh, my. Okay. I don't know about that, Brittany. That's some good advice. Yes, SB elbow cough. Gotcha. Anti-Angryman, Bobby M. How y'all doing? Leave Angryman alone, y'all. Doberman, hello. How are you? Your production value is second to none, Security Balls. Phenomenal work on and it just went up. Doberman, I'm so sorry. Your chat went up, your comment went up. Here we go. Phenomenal work on your platform. We noticed. Thank you. Thank you for that. Where are we now? Bobby M. Hello, how are you? Reagan Ronald. Wow. I found this channel via Film Say. Okay, good. You ladies really are doing a great job. As men, we gave up on marriage. Oh, we gave up on marriage. Don't do it. Seeing women like you do change men's perspective. That's what we're trying to do, because I am all about marriage, and we're going to talk about it. That's all I got is marriage. That's all I want everybody to know about is marriage. Brittany B says, love you, SB. These men have to stay stern. Really? Stern and kind. I get you. I get what you're saying. Respectable first. We're going to talk about this a little bit, but let me say hello to everybody first. Miss Shelby. Miss Shelby, you've been showing out, but I love it. That's between me and you. Ace Butterfly, hello, how are you? Will you be covering Roe versus Wade? No, you know what? That's hard to talk about. You know, we just have to be just too careful. And listen, I am not trying to excite any more dysfunction. And it's hard for people, I've noticed, to actually have a conversation when they don't agree. We haven't all gotten to that level of grownness yet. We're trying to work it on. We're working on it though, but I haven't seen it be, that way. When we don't agree, it's like, woo, a war, and it shouldn't have to be. It should be just conversations. And I'm all about having the conversation. Shout out to Lil Peep. He always say that. I'm all about having the conversation. And until we can get there, I'm gonna stay away from all that, them hot topics, them hot button topics. I'm still trying to get people married though, but I'm staying away from that. Cause one thing, you can't really say the words. You might, it's a lot. But I understand what you're saying. It is hot button, but hey, Robert H, how you doing? Gretchen, it's good to see you. 11 kids. Shelby, was it 11 kids? I know it was a lot. I know, that was amazing. Boss Lady Iris, hello, how are you? Boss Lady, I ain't seen you in a while. I'm gonna tell you something. I ain't forgot about that story you left us with the last time you were here, and it may not have been the last time, but I remember your story. Was it the sister and the aunt with the baby daddy? Oh boy. Gosh, I do remember. I remember that story. Gosh, that was something else. Bravo with Sheila. Hello, how are you? It's good to see you. Blessings to you also. If there's anybody that I forgot, y'all forgive me. Hopefully I'll see you, within the chat once we get started. And y'all know I love to shout y'all out. I know a good Shelby. Come on now. So, I love this. Reach the stars. Don't get married, guys. Woo! Listen, I am no therapist, but marriage is a good life. I mean, you covered. Your wife takes your boots off when you come in the house. Your kids, if you good, run up to you and greet you and show you all the love. I don't know what's better than that. Reach the stars.
Dearly beloved.
I have no idea what would be better. A single life when you eat, what's you call them little meals, the little meals you put in the microwavable dinners. And busting down several women, different ones every other day. Ain't nothing good about that. But anyway, I'm just kidding with you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much for being here. But listen, let's get into it. And we're going to talk about it because Reach for the Stars, this is your first time being here. I would love for you to cam up when we actually do that. And I want to hear exactly what you say. Because, again, I'm all about being married. And I think everybody should be married. Yeah, I think that's the answer to everything. Yeah, the shots fired. Y'all be hearing everything. So I do. I'm an advocate for marriage. I also love women. I want women to have the best life that they can have. And I definitely advocate for men. I want men to have a good life too. And I think I have the key on how to do that. Y'all can't ask Mr. Boss directly, but I think he would say that. Actually, the other day, y'all know what he said to me? He was like, okay, I'm spoiled. How about that? And he is. Hey, Hank, how are you? Good to see you. So, and he's spoiled. So that might not be everybody's story, but that's his. Hey, Rose. Hello. How are you? All right, guys, we're going to get into this. And we got a video to show you. And we're going to shout out. I think the young lady's name is Natalie. And listen, Natalie, I think she discusses, and I don't know for sure. I don't know if she's just randomly doing shorts or if she actually has a formal situation where she gives advice to single women, dating, and things of that nature. I don't know. Reagan Ronald, what are you saying up here? I am an Aerosmith engineer with pilot experience by profession, especially in aircraft manufacturing, avionics, and satellite technology with a minor in missiles and RE. I definitely want to get married. Did you just put in an application? I love it. I like that. Where were you at when we was doing? But we're doing I Choose You too now. Reagan, you need to go over to SB Show 2020 and leave some information where we can contact you, because I Choose You, and I didn't even mention it today. I Choose You, the second season where we have bachelors, is back, and we're picking and finding bachelorettes, and we're putting people together. So we're doing that now for the show. The show is coming late July, early August, and gosh, you might be good for it. But anyway, thank you so much for the information. Young lady that Realistic Vibes, how are you? The young lady has supplied a video. Like I said, I don't know if she formally has a class or a school where she teaches, gives advice to women or what have you, but I want y'all to listen. And I talked about her a little bit a couple of weeks ago, I think. I want y'all to listen to everything she says, because remember, today's topic of the show is if she comes with stipulations, leave her in the restaurant. And you all may not get what I'm trying to say, because I'm gonna let her speak first a little bit, and then I'm gonna kind of speak on it also. Here she goes.
Smart ladies, always have your own. Always have your own independence. Never allow a man to fully take care of you. That is a very, very big mistake. Always have your own money, car, career, insurance, savings. Have your own. First and foremost, is very attractive.
All right. So did y'all hear that? She said, have your own, ladies, have your own. You got to be independent. You got to have your own money, insurance, car, and a couple of other things you need to have. It was an echo. Well, we're gonna have to play it again. Let me make sure we mute me out.
Independence. Never allow a man to fully take care of you. That is a very, very big mistake. Always have your own money, car, career, insurance, savings. Have your own. First and foremost, is very attractive.
All right. She starts off by saying, never allow a man to take care of you. Now, I have to be honest with this. She's not saying, I'm going to just repeat what she said, because I don't know if we have an echo or not. But anyway, she is saying that women, her advice to women is never allow a man to take care of you. She said you need to have your own everything. Now, giving her credit, she's not particularly saying that she's speaking to a woman that is trying to be a wife. She's just talking to women, just giving them advice. Now, to her credit, she may not be speaking to individuals that want to be married, but me, every time I see a woman that is in the years of, childbearing and is not married, I want her to be married. So this is how it sticks out to me. She says, never allow a man fully to take care of you. Don't rely on a man. You need to have everything you need. Okay. We're going to continue to let her talk. She wants you to have everything you need. In other words, she don't want you to even need a man, but I'm gonna let her tell you in her own words. So let's just see, can we continue to play this, and y'all let me know about the sound.
Secondly, it's not attractive when you don't have your own. Thirdly, you become a liability to that man than an asset, which eventually becomes a turnoff, okay? And then when he starts resenting you for that, what's going to happen? He's going to mistreat you, belittle you, disrespect you, okay? So always have your own, because then you have options. So if
All right, guys, what I said was, she just went on to say, you're going to become a liability for the man. Then it's going to rear its ugly head, and it's going to be a turnoff to him, and he's going to resent you. And then we're going to continue to let her talk. Just continue.
things are getting rocky in the relationship or things are dysfunctional in the relationship, you can pack your bags and you can leave, and you don't have to settle or tolerate a man's BS. Have your own, because first and foremost, it gains your respect.
She says when things get rocky in the relationship, you can pack your bags and get on out, because you ain't got to rely on this man for nothing. Nothing at all. So we're going to listen to it, and this is going to be the end of it, and then we're going to talk about you. Gretchen, you said you can't hear. She sound all right, so keep going.
And then the story becomes, you don't need a man, you want a man, but he must be the right man. Remember, I told you, ladies, take notes.
So then she goes on to say, then it becomes you want a man, you don't need a man. And then she winks at you and she said, unless it's the right man. The right man. So guys, listen, ladies, all these things sound so good as far as the independentness and all of that. All of this, and have your own insurance, have your own car, you know, all of that. And if you're an adult woman, you should. But what this is right here is going to keep you single for the rest of your life. This is going to keep you single if you actually want to be married. Now, this is the recipe for being single. And I agree with her totally. You should have all these things. And you know what? When I heard it, I kind of felt like she didn't even like men. And that's what I'm getting from people. When people are so extreme, they're so extreme with their ideas, you know, winking at you and, you know, shaking their head, and, you know, you don't even want a man. You know, they got it going back and forth like that. I'm beginning to think that they don't even like the opposite sex, whether it's a woman that doesn't like a man or a man that don't care for a woman. So this is what I mean by stipulations, right? She said, you got to have your own car insurance. You got men. If you meet a woman and you're having that very important conversation with her, you know, the ones you have in the beginning. I hope you have it in the beginning. You say to her, you know, so what you bring to the table? And she said, I got my own car. I got my own money. I got my own savings account. I got my own stocks and bonds, whatever she says, all those things. Men, if she says that to you, to me, that's a red flag. And those are stipulations, because she's just said, see, I got all this right here. I don't need you. That's what she said. Now, I hope y'all heard her. She don't need you. Now, she never bothered to ask, you know, or even think that this might not be important to a man, especially a man who really wants a wife, or even what the purpose of a wife is, right? Why would a man ask a woman to marry him that has this kind of disposition? I don't need you. This is tough, y'all. Emil says men are not wanting needy women anymore. They want you to bring something to the table. Yeah, I can believe that. But what is needy? Emil, this is good. I want to know what a needy woman looks like, because just because you get married and you're positioning yourself to be a wife, it doesn't mean you weak, stupid, or dumb. Hey, Big Cap. It doesn't mean any of that. You don't lose your ability to learn. You don't lose your ability to have a career. You don't lose your ability to do anything. You just want to be a wife. That's so interesting, because I want to know what needy means. What does needy look like? What does that mean? That means if I get married, my husband is supposed to take care of me. I'm needy. So what does that? How am I needy if my husband's supposed to take care of me? That's how it's supposed to be. It really is. So Robert H says he wants to feel needed. Most men do. Most men want to feel like the king of the castle. Actually, they get so much joy in knowing that they're taking care of something. They don't want you to be totally dependent on them financially. Really? So you know what? This is good. Thanks, Emil. This is good, because this is where the problems come in at. This is where the problems come in at. And you don't have to be dependent on him totally, I should say. Let me see, totally. Ladies, you need to find a man that is willing to take care of you if you want to be married and can. And what I mean by can, you have to be on that man's plan. Now, this is where it gets real tricky. Are you all willing to be on the man's plan? That man's plan may only be like $150,000 house this year. Are y'all willing to live within those parameters of $150,000 house? If you're not, then he's not going to be the man that you want to marry. But that doesn't mean that he made a mistake. It could be that you're making a mistake. See, this is the problem right here. This is the problem. All these things this woman just named, you don't have to, we don't become dumb or lacking when we get married. And if any woman feels that way, if y'all ever thought that way about me, you got it so very wrong. I gotta let y'all know that is not my story. When I got married, I actually, listen, guys, I gotta tell you, and y'all gotta believe me, I can name the things. When I got married, I actually became smarter because I happened to have one of those men that was willing to teach me a lot of things. But the marriage was based on, y'all know, the principles of the marriage, but also it was his plan. I knew that he was going to be the man that made the decisions in the household and was going to take care of me. Now, was I going to contribute to that? Absolutely. You have to contribute to it. But when you say they don't want you to have your own, see, I get mixed up with that because I'm willing to put all mine in one pot because I always feel like the man's going to have more. And I don't understand why I want to have. I'm not keeping my 20 in my pocket when my man got 100. I'm going to get him that 20. Now we got 120. I'm going to do what I need to do to make sure my husband's good. And in turn, he's going to do exactly what he needs to do to make sure I'm good. And that's how a marriage should be. Now, I'm sure there's been other ways people have successfully done and created marriage. I am so glad of that. And I understand that there could be some trust issues when it comes to marriage. But again, in Mills, you're right. Listen, I'm not on the dating scene right now. I can't even imagine. But Spoiled Baby says majority of men can provide for family. The issue is that women want to live above their means. I'm 26 and I never worked. I'm married with 3 kids. I got married as soon as I finished university. You get what I'm saying? See, Spoiled Baby, I'm a little close to what you do. My life looked a little bit like yours. I mean, I don't know your life. You got 3 kids. I don't have 3 kids. But my point I'm saying is, for some reason, women are thinking once you get married, you got to be dummied down. No, that's not the case. And if your man that you're courting is making you feel that way, ladies, it's the wrong one. See, a man needs to grasp upon the assets that the woman he's courting or dating has. Whatever her abilities are, they need to be, flourished, not downplayed. And remember I said, guys, listen, to be married for me, and y'all can do what you want. To be married, though, I think you need to marry a good guy. Brittany said stern. I'm not sure what stern means, but it needs to be a good guy. It needs to be a kind person. It needs to be a person of order and discipline. Now, for me, stern might equal discipline, but the days of the you walking in the house and everybody else about to pee on cotton, that's out. That nobody's doing that. That didn't get nothing done anyway, because we're not scared of daddy anymore. Daddy's now a part of the plan. We're inviting him into dinner. He playing with the kids too. He's reading the books at bedtime. He's being a part of the family. He's no longer just the provider. He's a part of the marriage now. So I don't know for sure, Brittany. Brittany already told you I don't do good between the lines. But anyway, getting back to it. So if the person that you're dating, the man that you're dating, is making you feel like you're less of a woman because you're in a position to be married, that's not the way it goes. It shouldn't be that way. And if you're feeling that way, that's just not it. Just like the young lady said, I actually got married after I went to school too. And if y'all recall my story, when I first met my husband, I was in the midst of school and I knew that my husband was more serious about life and being married than I was. So I'm not going to say I didn't reject him, but I was like, no, not right now. For a whole year. I said, no, not now. And that was due to school. That was due to college. That was due to me trying to better myself as a woman. And I was a single woman at that time, and I had to take care of myself. So I get it. But after I married him, he still had his own plans about what we needed to do. And with him, us going into real estate, I really got my real estate license. Do y'all not know that most people say your real estate license is the hardest license to actually get? I achieved that. So you don't become a dummy. You should become smarter, and your assets should be lifted up. You need and want and should be an asset to your husband. And if you're not feeling that way, then that's not a good relationship, guys. It is not. I hate that. That is not, because that's not the way it should be. Now, as far as going back, someone mentioned a woman you have to live in the parameters of your husband in order to feel as though your husband is taking care of you. If you all didn't go to the $150,000 house, but you went to the $300,000 house, and now your husband is requiring you pay half because it was the house that you had to have. See, then that puts, to me, I think that puts stress on the relationship, because woman, now you have to work. You got to be responsible for half that mortgage payment. Then you got to come home and clean the house, and you got to take care of your husband. And you're tired. That's too much. I was fortunate enough to have a man that is an entrepreneur. So guess what? I work for him. We've always worked our own businesses. So whatever comes in the house comes in the house. That's why it's been easy for me with one pot. So ladies, any one of you out there that are single right now and you're looking for a husband, it's okay for you to make some suggestions when you're doing the courting and when you're dating, you're having these conversations. Men don't know everything, and women, we don't know everything either. But you have to have a plan on how your future with your mate should look. And it should never look like somebody is weak and dumb and doesn't have a voice. That's ridiculous. It should look more like, babe, I love you. I love you because you're smart. What? I don't even see. Is this a real thing that a man wants a woman that's not smart, that doesn't have a, come on. Is that something? Is that a going thing? You know, do men really just want to call the shots like that? I mean, I'm not saying that you don't do nothing, but you have to have value. And whatever that value is that you have to have, your husband y'all should be creating that together. You know, babe, I only go, you know, whatever you got to do. I need you home by noon, baby, whatever you want to do. I understand we don't have any kids yet. Maybe you want to join a yoga club, whatever. I mean, make that decision, but y'all should do that together. But don't ever think, and I could be wrong, y'all could help me out with this, but I don't think a man wants a dumb woman. I don't think a man wants a dumb woman, but I don't think a man wants a woman that is so independent that she don't need him. This is a single woman. And if you're happy with these accomplishments, you know, be happy with it. It'll work for you. It'll take you all the way to retirement, and loneliness too. I mean, you know, it's okay to have these things because you're a single person and you're taking care of yourself. Oh, Ace Butterfly said manosphere promotes dumb women. Whoa. That's a big thing to say. Wow. Spoiled baby, they don't want to be dominated in marriage. Women don't want to be dominated in marriage. Why? What is the domination part? We're going to talk about that, spoiled baby. You got a lot of information here. I want to, because it doesn't have to be dominant. I don't get the domination. I got to look up the exact definition of dominating. Dominating don't sound good to me, but I don't know. You have to share with me what dominating is when we're dealing with being married. I have to hear about that. Mike Dub, how you doing? Mike Dub has given us a $10 super chat. It says, let's be real. A lot of people are not marriage minded. A lot of it has to do with how they were raised and or being hardened from bad relationships, because these people block their blessings. Mike, you get a money line for that.
I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline. Money line. I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline.
Yeah. Mike, you are exactly right. But this is what I'm trying to say. I'm an example. Last night we had 6 other examples. There were 7 ladies, 88 years of being married, right? 88 years of being married there. And I promise you, y'all need to go back and look at the videos. There were no dummies on that stage. None. And the thing about it is we were praising marriage. We weren't talking about those bad things. We were praising marriage because we love the idea of being married. Now, all of us have a different story. 88 years was on that stage, but I hate that we're in a place where there are talking points that are so negative. But this is what I want y'all to do. Listen to this. This is real, y'all, to everybody. Before you adapt or adopt Wrong word, adopt. Before you adopt a talking point, before you do it, please make it apply to your life. Experience it in some kind of way. Please don't be just throwing out talking points that you've heard that has never happened in your life. If it ain't happened in your life, don't do it. If you talking about, yeah, men are mean, they dominating over you and this and this and this, and you ain't never had a man or have never been in a serious relationship, please don't do that. Don't do that. That's wrong. That's sending out a terrible message that all men are bad. Ladies, if you are in a relationship or if you out there talking about how men cheat, how they take your money, how they ain't no good and all that, and you ain't never been in a serious relationship, don't do that. Unless you've been cheated on. I don't want to hear about what your mama did. I don't want to hear about what your mama and your daddy did. Because remember, I got a mama and daddy story that will beat all of y'all's. I really do. Mine beats out. Right in the six. Listen, you wouldn't hear earlier, but I called you out. Thank you so much for being over on Real Film last night. I appreciate it so much. And what you're saying here, some women think if a woman is young, she's dumb. They think life experience equals smarts. They don't understand the concept that life experience often equals trauma. Well, this is what I'm talking about. What I'm saying right now, instead of us carrying on these dysfunctional talking points that we hear on YouTube channels, and y'all know that they are, this is honest. I really need y'all to commit to this. If these things have not happened in your life and you have not experienced them, before you adopt them to be your reasoning for not doing something, please live a little bit more life and experience these things before you do that, because that's spreading such a false narrative to say that all Black women are this way, all women do this, all Black men are this, all men do this. That's terrible. It's terrible. I'm sitting back now and I'm looking and hearing all these things and I'm saying to myself, this is no way all this could have happened. No way. I mean, some of the things that you hear, you like, what? No way this could happen. It couldn't have. Where, when? Listen, I'm not saying bad things don't happen. Y'all know, like I told you before, I got a mama and daddy story. Dad's the ultimate. He 100. And I'm just finding out about it now. And this is after my mama's death. So I'm telling y'all something that's real. And listen, I wouldn't lie on a person. But if you don't have this kind of story or you can't relate to it like that, please don't adopt it. And when I say adopt it, don't make it your reasoning for not doing something. A young man, I'm going to say it was a man. I think it was a man, says, do not be married. I'm telling you, being married is the best life that you can have. Now, y'all may disagree. And some of you have been in bad marriages. And I understand totally why you're saying that. And some might say, I'll never do that again. And I understand that too, because you've already did it and you see where your experience didn't work out well. And I agree to that. Well, let me say this. I understand where you're coming from. But I'm going to say to you too, all men or women are not alike. They're not. First thing first is find out where were you in that relationship that made it go south. Find out where were you drunk the night you picked them. Was she a bust down? You accidentally got pregnant. Figure out what part you played in it. And then try it one more time. Not like you were before, though. Try it one more. See, can you find a woman that represents what you're looking for? And then make the marriage what you want it to be. That's the bad part. But wait a minute. Reagan Ronald, $2 super chat. Thank you so much for this. And thank you for being here. Definitely. See, this is what I'm saying. When I hear things like this, Bobby M says, no security bars. You're wrong. Most people who say don't get married have never actually been married. Okay. Wonder why they saying don't get married then, huh? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I'm wrong. I don't know what I'm wrong about then. But anyway, it's okay. Keep me straight. Primal Study says marriage in the U.S. has massive risks for men in America with the laws as they are. See what I'm saying? Primal Studies, I think I like you. I think I follow things you say. You're a very smart person. I think you also was the person that I'm not sure. I don't want to call anything out right now, but I think I know who you are and I respect you a lot. But when you say this, marriage in the U.S. has massive, I'm sorry. But anyway, the thing that you said, I want you to tell me, and if you have a story, I want you to bring it to us, has massive risk for men in America with the laws as they are. I want you to bring this, I want you to make this live for me, because I just told you, and this was a real situation. I was with 7 women yesterday of all different kind of nationalities. I mean, 88 years of being married. So what that means is we got 7 husbands, 7 men somewhere around us, 7 men somewhere behind us, somewhere sitting on the left, sitting on the right, that says they like or don't mind being married, right? 7. And believe it or not, they all looked like they were pretty successful women. Didn't nobody look like they was hurting for nothing. Nobody looked like they were being hid in the closet, and there was nobody dumb. What I'm saying to you is you have to make your marriage what you want it to be. Now, I totally agree that sometimes there's abuse in the play, and then sometimes people just wake up and don't want to be married to you. And I am not talking about that. But anything less of that, you make your marriage what you want it to be. You do. You in control of it all the way. I hate to say it. You're in control of it. So all you got to do is take all this energy that you're thinking about. And I'm not saying this is you. You just gave an example. This may not be your case. If it's not your case, that's words, primal studies. If this is your case, then I can hear from you. And I'd be like, Dad, tell us about it. I want to hear. I want to hear, because I want to prevent that too, if we can. Because see, being married is the covering for all of this. It covers you from these things, what you're talking about, the laws and the things that go on in the world. This is the covering. And guess what? Ultimately, what you want is a woman that loves you. And what she wants, you want a woman to love and respect you, submit to you. And she wants you to love her and be her covering and protect her. That's what women actually want. So whenever it goes left, somebody played a part in it. And I'm just saying to you, instead of us making it go left, and we might make it go left, we just got to get it back on track. Bobby M, the talking points, the talking points instill fear of divorce. That's what they focus on. They don't actually say what's wrong with the marriage. Actually, I know this, but see, listen, I never discuss marriage with divorce because I don't believe in divorce. Because see, the marriage that I am in now will be 27 years in November. My husband and I are in the marriage, nobody else. So if something goes left, it was either he did it or I did it, right? It was. So what we got to focus on is fixing that. And if I know in my mind, ooh, them laws over there going to drag me if I think that way too much, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to think the other way.
Dearly beloved.
And that's how we're going to work it out. It's not going to be that, oh, marriage is an option. Divorce is an option. Come on, y'all. I mean, you got to do what you want. I can't make anybody do anything. I'm just telling you that life is good when you can find a woman or a man that loves you, that can take care of you, that you can laugh with, that you can that you feel that is good enough to have your kids, that is good enough to have in your life, that you can trust. It's good. And what I'm seeing right now is hectic and crazy. And if you want to live that way, I can't say not to, but I'm telling you, life is so much better than that. You got so much more you can be doing with your brain power, especially this dating game. And M. Mills is right. She says it's crazy out here. I can imagine, because there's so many talking points and unrealistic expectations. There's nothing out here that is organic. Nothing. I just heard a woman on a video. I played it a second ago. A woman just went on and on and on about how she did not need a man. We do need men. But guess what? If I bet I wouldn't do this to her. But if a pit bull got loose anywhere in the vicinity, it came running after this woman, she would hope that a man is around, or even me. I would hope that a man is around. If some man is bullying me, if a man is bullying me, talking crazy, you would hope that a man is around. Whatever the situation is, we need men. And men, guess what? Y'all need women. You need a wife. Now, I heard the other day, Big Cap, how are you doing? People are afraid of marriage because they can't keep people out their relationships. Oh, people out their relationships. Big Cap, let me tell you something. And I've told this before, and you may not have been around at that time, but I think you were with me over at making the cut. But anyway, that is a very big thing, keeping people out of your marriage. It's very huge. And it's a must that you do it, because people will pour into you negativity. And I said this before, at the beginning of our marriage, my mom was the negative one. She even though she was married till she died, she was not fond of men. I'm not gonna lie, she hated men. She hated men because of her 57-year, that's a lie. How many? Yeah, no, I'm right. Her 57-year experience with my dad. She hated men. All right. I understood in my latter years what was going on. I did. But that was her total responsibility to stay married. Now, I didn't know how bad it was, but she chose to stay married. But within that, in her staying married, she actually built up a hate for men. And she wanted to share that hate for men with me, because of course, that's my mom. She didn't want me going through the same thing. Hey, she didn't want me going through the same thing. So of course she would say, stay away from them. They ain't no good. That's what she said. It got worse. So when she met my husband, the man that was so different from all the rest, came down and said, may I have her hand in marriage? I mean, he did all of that, y'all. He did it. Still didn't care. Still hated him. So Big Cap, after my husband and I got married, we stayed away from folks about 5 years. 5 whole years. Listen, we loved them. We talked to them. You know, on holidays, we said hello. We didn't talk to them. On holidays, we said hello, but we did not allow them to put anything, any kind of opinion, expression, anything into our marriage. I know for myself, if I would have allowed her to speak into me, anything in that first 5 years, my marriage would not have been. Because there's no way you can listen to a person telling you something is awful and you still make a good decision. My husband was not perfect. He wasn't supposed to be perfect. So if I would have went to her, sharing with her, whining, being a whiny ass, because that's how you is when you're 25. You want everything your way. Hey, how about why not? That's what women do, right? We want to look cute, do this, do that, and that's about it. And if it don't go our way, we upset. Come on. I'm being honest. And men, y'all are not far from it. You want everything your way. And sometimes things y'all say don't make any sense. But guess what? That's just who we are. It's what you call growing pains. You live and you learn. You know, y'all know what I'm talking about. If you don't, I got some stories for you. But anyway, my point I'm trying to make is, for about first 5 years, Big Cap, we kept everybody out of our marriage to make sure that our foundation in marriage was solid. So that meant for the first 5 years, my mom and dad were like off limits to be, because I didn't have much for them. I just knew I couldn't. But then after that, you generally come back because you good now. You realize that you and your man ain't nothing coming in between y'all. And y'all had that conversation. And you also had a conversation with like this. Listen, as long as it's me and you, this is to death do us part. You have that conversation. You do. You keep it all the way real. Keep it all the way real. You might even in the beginning say, you know what, I got some deal breakers. And like, what's your deal breaker? What's yours? And you might say this and this. And you know what? The deal breakers go away because you begin to understand that the marriage relationship that you have is so much bigger than you or him. It's much bigger than that. You begin to understand your purposes. You're like, Dad, okay. Oh, it's not about the relationship like that. No, it's about what we're doing. It's about what we're here for. Oh, we're becoming one. Oh, I'm understanding him now. And then when you get some years behind you, you start laughing at each other. Because it's a joke. Things you used to get mad at when you first year, second year, it's all a joke. You'd be like, damn, I can't even believe I was mad about that. I asked my husband, like, he was like, I cannot even believe some of the things. He was like, I can't even believe I did that. I mean, and it would be nothing bad, y'all. Don't think that in any way. I was blessed. I've been blessed. Now, is he easy? I would say he's difficult because he's an alpha male. He's always got a plan. He's always moving. And I wasn't that type of person. I could have worked a job and be, okay. So he had to sell me that plan, y'all. So I'm not saying it's easy. It's not easy. I just had to trust and I had to submit. And then I got over here to the other side. Now, ladies, all of y'all that wanted on the first day, look, if you can get it on the first day, good for you. I could not. My thing, me being who I am, was not a first day situation. I had to put some work in and time in for me to be who I am now, for me to live like I live, for us business owners to be successful in business, like I had to put time in, and I understand that not many of you are willing to do that. And I don't know what to say about that, but it's not a microwavable thing. It's not overnight. I got to tell you, money comes and goes. One day you might be six figures. The next one you might be 20,000 a year. Who knows? Listen, I was selling houses when the market crashed. I got to tell y'all a story. It's a story time. You're not gonna believe this. It's crazy. When the market crashed, many years prior to, I sell houses, right? From 2001 to 2005, I believe it was. Around 2005, I think it was. I started making over six figures, and I did it for several years, y'all. And if y'all remember, the market crashed, the housing market crashed around 08, 7 or 8. Or 8 or 9. But anyway, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I went from making six figures to $30,000 a year. No lie. And anybody who out there who knows anybody who sells a house, who has ever sold any homes, knows that I'm telling the truth. You get to the closing table and they would tell you this deal is not going to close. So you just lost $10,000 on a $300,000 house that you just knew you was gonna pay some bills with. No, you're not getting it. So over six figures for so many years, did you not know when you're an entrepreneur, they go by your bank statements and the amount of money that you've made for several years, it becomes the amount of money that you make. That's who you are. It's different from like working a 9-to-5 job. Your 9-to-5, you say, oh, I make 50,000 and you're going to get your 50,000 or whatever. So if for several years you've been making over $100,000, you are now six figures and you make over $100,000. So this is my point. I had been doing that for quite some time. My husband had another business. So this is what's crazy. When the housing market crashed the way that it did, my income went down somewhere between $70,000 and $80,000. Let me say it again. It went, for me now, I'm still tripping. Went down $70,000 to $80,000 per year. And I'm looking at my husband, he looking at me, we like, damn, what did we do with all that money? Because remember, I was the one at that particular time that was making that money. My husband still had his thing going, but I was the one that was making that money. So guess what? Y'all got to hear what I'm saying. I was the woman. So let's just bring it back to the principle of this. A woman's money don't make no difference. So for several years after, I lost $70,000 to $80,000 for about 3 to 4 years. But guess what? We never missed a beat. Never missed a beat. I sit down and talk to Mr. Boss, and we was like, Dad, what? This is crazy. We never missed a beat. And we was like, I know, we never missed. We was like, what did we do with all that money? This is a real conversation, guys. We was like, what did we do with all this money? So we sit there and we was like, what did we do? Because you really would have thought that 80,000, I'm going high so I can just tell my story. That $80,000 contributed something to this household, right? It didn't. Or if it did, we couldn't figure out where it was. Oh, it contributed to our lifestyle. Now, I'm not telling you we wouldn't enjoy the money. I'm just saying lights, phone, gas, that kind of stuff that you need. Didn't miss a beat. We gave a lot of money away. We was tripping. I mean, y'all don't understand. We lost $80,000 for about 3 to 4 years that we just couldn't figure out how in the world did we do this? How did we do it? It was the craziest thing in the world. I think real estate is about to take a back seat again for a while. Make sure you have multiple skills that can make money. Let me tell you, Primal Studies, I only sell about 2 to 3 houses a year right now. And I'm going to tell you why. One, this market is one that I cannot stand behind. I cannot stand behind a house that I rehabbed 10 years ago, bought it for $60,000, rehabbed it, sold it for initially $120,000. Now that house is $315,000. I cannot sell that house. I can't do it, right? I can't do it. I can't do it. So I pull away. So what I got going on now is all my clients that I only sell to clients that I have, previous clients. I will not go out. I will not market myself to sell a house to anybody because this market is so terrible for me. I mean, it's good for the sellers, but hey, I can't do it. Now, nothing in me will let me sell a 1,500 square foot house for $315,000. I almost feel like when this thing crashes, those people had a right to come back and get me. I can't do it. So I say all that to say, though, if anybody followed that story, what I was trying to say is the marriage that I have with my husband was put together on godly principles. I've always respected my husband's plan. He's always been an entrepreneur. I could work a job. It wouldn't matter to me. Never would. But I made so much money for many years. And I always came home and put the money in a pot, the same pot. Whatever he needed to do or wanted to do, I didn't care because I was always taken care of. I never felt like I missed anything. When I lost all the money, I was the one that lost. My husband's business was still doing what it was doing. That was the one that took care of us. Yes, I'm refusing money. Yeah. Because it's not making sense, Ace Butterfly. It's not making sense. I already know what it's going to be. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't. So, yeah, I'm refusing money. Again, I lose money one time and I refuse it the next. So my point is, though, is the fact that it was built, our relationship and our marriage was built like that. When I lost all that money, even though it went into one pot, it did not keep us from living. It didn't keep us from living. We sat back a couple times later on and we was just shaking our heads. It was like, where did all that money go? Excuse me. And I can tell you, we did a lot of giving. We did give a lot of money. We do that. Yeah, we do. And that was a lot. That's what we did. So my whole thing was that if you build your relationship on that kind of foundation and you respect the man and you put all you have into him, he's going to take care of you. And if you feel like he's not that man, there should be some telltale signs before you say I do that will let you know that this is not the man you need to be invested in. So that was my whole point of that, because money comes and goes. And I just gave y'all an excellent story. And if y'all know of anybody that has ever been in the real estate business, they may be able to give you that same story. It got terrible. But again, it was all about our lifestyle, though. You know, there was no more. I mean, yeah, if y'all don't know me, as security boss buy a different car every 2 years because I love cars. So I was just feeding that kind of stuff. It's crazy. I'm not perfect. I do kind of crazy stuff. I've had so many different kind of cars and all that stuff. And my husband is the toy guru. You name it. He got every toy you could ever think of. I've had every toy that you could think of. And we were just enjoying life. Because that's what a woman's money does. It allows you to enjoy life. And we was just doing it. We was just doing it. And of course, that was just my story. I hope that helps someone. I'm going to continue to give many examples like that because I still really think marriage is the way to go. This thing that we're in now to me is so, it hardens you so much because it just hardens. I can see it. It's making women turn into monsters as men. They're getting so hateful and so bitter that there's no love there at all. And that's not how it's supposed to be. So anyway, hello guys, Mandrell and Dr. Panderson.
Hey, security boss, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm well.
Hey, what's going on? How you doing?
Doing good. How y'all feeling today?
All is well.
Good. Mandrell, what you got to add to this? Mandrell, I know you're looking for a wife. I hope you're still looking for one.
I am.
Good.
Still looking for one. But yeah, you brought some really good points that people need to hear. For example, money shouldn't be the driving force of it because it may not always be there, especially if you're in a family of entrepreneurs. You know what I mean? You might have a bad quarter, and plus you have to watch. Yeah, you want to keep up a standard of living, but you have to watch how you spend that money. Because people ask me, why aren't you spending money? Why haven't you bought a new car? I'm like, have you seen the gas prices? What are you worried about it for? I'm like, because I know what it took for me to get what I have, and I'm careful about how I spend, how I use it. You know what I mean? And there's other things I want to do with it, as you and your husband know. You know,
Yeah.
but yeah, things I want to do with that money to make more money. You know, but also when to the point where you say the topic of the day, women with stipulations. For me, it depends on what the stipulations are, because you have to allow the woman to have her own standards.
No,
You know what I
standard
mean?
stipulations are different. Standards I agree with.
Okay.
Stipulations are those things that supersede the marriage. Meaning, yeah, standards. Yeah, I agree totally with standards. She has to pick you. You have to be a standard for her life. I get that. But stipulations would be something that you might identify with easier would be, so Mandrell, if we're getting married, I need you to go buy me a ring that is 3 times your salary, your monthly salary. That would be a stipulation.
Okay.
That because we ain't got to have no $30,000, $40,000 ring to get married.
Exactly. Tell you what, I'm gonna go to Walmart. Let me see if she notices the difference.
No, it's
just to pull a joke. Just to pull a joke. I want to see if she notices the difference. She'll probably get it. A woman like that would probably get it appraised, just to find out. And I think that's something going on with her. Anyone that superficial and thinks that a marriage is gonna work, when you think like that, that's the way you think. Listen, you got to do some deep soul searching, because
that's the point of it. That's the point. The point is you figure out what kind of woman you have in advance, because a woman that comes with stipulation is a woman that probably thinks that she either needs you for a reason or she don't need you.
Right. And I've been like in my last relationship, one of the mistakes she made, even though I have nothing bad to say about that woman at all. Fantastic sister. She's like, you're a want, not a need.
Yes, no.
And when I was told that to my face, like I've heard of that before, you know, but when it hit different when someone tells you that to your face. It's like, wait, what? And I said, you understand how that sounds, right?
What she told that. What did she say?
Well, I mean, you're always telling the truth. Then why is it a problem now? I said, it's not a problem. It's just, I mean, it's just the fact that you think that. The fact that that's the way you think. I mean, don't you think you should reevaluate that?
You know, I think sometimes that, and I mentioned this too, that sometimes we hear all these talking points. Mm-hmm. We start talking real jivey and almost rhyming, and we say things that we hear other people say, but we've never experienced anything, and we don't really know what we're saying. So, right. You know, with that being said, if she was worth it to you, I would say to you, sit her down and actually tell her what your role is as a man. And then after you tell her and you explain to her what your role is, if she can still say that, then you would put the red flag on her face and just walk away.
And see, that's exactly what happened. And this is before I discovered Kevin Samuels, Red Pill, YouTube, all that. Before I discovered all that, that's exactly what happened. You know, yeah. I wanted to marry her. Again, super dope woman. But when it came to what marriage looked like, what my role was going to be, what her role was going to be, we just disagreed. You know what I mean? Like, mine was much more streamlined with yours, like your idea of what a marriage is, you know, because that's what I grew up seeing with my parents. You know, she heard it from my sister, you know, how my parents' marriage was. We never heard them argue about money or anything, you know, and hers was more, the only difference would be paperwork. And I asked her, I said, what's the difference between what you're describing and what we're doing now? Like, she didn't want the one big pot. I wouldn't have access to any of her stuff. The whole nine. It was like, so all we're doing is just going to the courthouse to get married, and that's it. Well, yeah, when you move in here, so whoa, I'm not moving into your house. Well, what are you gonna do? What do you mean? I'm gonna buy you one. What? And so that's when the whole thing with me buying her house, and I took her to a builder, fantastic homes, and talked to them. I had her sit down there while they went over my finances, because she said, let them run your finances first. Of course, that was a red flag, but I was like, okay, I'm just going to let her see what my finances are looking like. They ran my credit, ran my finances, so she could hear everything that they told me. Everything was fantastic, right? And so then I was like, okay, so when we add your name to the mortgage, wait, let's have your name on the mortgage first, and then later down the line, we'll add mine. I said, I'm not doing that. Either you're in or you're out. What are you talking? And so that's the thing. Like when I started actually doing things like that, like you describe a husband should do, that's when she got squirrely.
Exactly.
And started backing away. Like, oh, wait a minute. I didn't know it was like for real like that. Yeah, it's for real. What do you think I'm doing? I took you ring shopping. What are you talking about? But she had been engaged before, but she had never been married.
See, that's the thing. I listen. This is for the ladies. I don't think that all the time we understand everything. I think it takes for you all to actually pull us into the plan. I know y'all saying why y'all should be smart enough. If they haven't had any examples of wives or even grown women, even grown woman behavior, they're not going to know everything. They're going to go into a marriage very, very selfish. They're not going to know how to give. They're not going to be considerate. They're going to expect the same thing from you as you expect from them. And what I mean by that is, no, listen, in my home, my husband has a different role. Now, although I love riding his lawnmower, he don't need to be expecting that on this week, he going to do the lawn. And then on next week, I'm going to do the lawn. Right. Even though I love to ride his lawnmower. I mean, it's a plaything for me, but women that don't get it, they have the same expectation for you as you have for them. Like they'll want, I washed dishes last night. I needed to wash dishes tonight. You ain't never heard that before?
Yeah, I've heard of that, but it's like, from my point of view, it's like the dishes need to be washed. Somebody got to wash them. But if I feel like washing dishes and they need to be washed, let's say you're tied up, busy with something, and I have a few minutes. I have a few minutes to spare. Why don't I just tidy up these dishes right quick?
No, if it's something you want to do, that's fine. I'm talking expectation.
Right. No, cutting the grass and stuff like that. I'm expected to do that.
But you're not. No, you might not. But what if, like I said, I enjoyed riding the lawnmower.
Gotcha.
And I don't have a problem with it at all. I don't have a problem with being outside. I enjoy doing crazy stuff. So my husband knows that. So if he gets into the mode, well, babe, you like doing it. Why don't you go out there and do it? And he has an expectation. Then now we got a problem.
Right.
That's what I mean. You can do whatever you want. Whatever you want to do, you can do. I'm just saying sometimes women are a little spoiled baby. See, spoiled baby up here? Spoiled baby. And sometimes we might be selfish. It's not saying that men are not, because I have run across very selfish men also.
Me too.
They don't even know they being selfish. They think they just being men.
And it's like, that is like, Dr. Peterson and I have talked about that before. I was like, that is so not what a man is. You just walk around barking orders at a woman. That's a sentient human being.
Right. So let's see what Miss Jennifer has to say. What if your woman is more gifted and talented than you? Would you share her excellence with the world? Like if figures out how to get rid of global warming or something. What do you think about that, man?
Absolutely.
Sure, why not?
Why would I hold you back?
I don't believe in household competition.
Exactly. Like, perfect example, security boss. My sister and I, right? We've never competed with each other for anything.
Right.
Right. And even when I brought her on my show on Wednesday nights, right?
Yeah.
I brought her there, even though she didn't know it. And I told her later, I brought her there because I wanted people to see her. I wanted people to see you be brilliant, because you are. Because we talked about it afterwards, right? Because now people are asking her to come on their platforms and stuff like that. She's like, I'm getting a lot of calls. I mean, people really like me like that? I'm like, yeah. I said, you're sensational. I knew they were going to do that. It's you. Yep. I said, and I brought you on my show on purpose so people could see you. And that's my thing. I want her to shine. So I put her out there so she could. So, I mean, it's the same thing with a wife. If she has talents, you're a fool not to nurture those talents, not to push her out there and give her support to go and use them.
Right.
You're exactly crazy. Right.
And Riding the Six gave an excellent example, Mr. Boss and me. You're exactly right. So, Dr. Panderson, how are you feeling today? Tell us what you got to add to this. How you been? You seem so quiet today. This is not you.
No, I'm good. All is well. Here goes Black Man, one of my favorite people. The YouTube talking points. They're killing people, man.
They're killing them.
They are.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah.
They're not.
You said a mouthful. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't mean to take from you, but when I'm sitting back thinking about this now, and it's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's serving up and fueling a lot of dysfunction where people have not ever experienced these things before. And it's actually sad to me because you have a life you need to live.
Yeah, the best advice I've been getting is not from talking points.
Okay. Well, you're an older man though. You understand this.
Well, the best advice I've been getting and coming in, because sometimes I come into space, mainly entertainment, clowning,
Right.
and then have conversations. Because you know me, y'all know me pretty well.
Right.
But the overdose on talking points has gotten to the point where people are picking and choosing what they want to hear. There's men talking all this protection, providing. I was like, look, the world is different. There's not a bunch of women looking over their shoulder worried about protection. There's police, or they just don't want it. Let's just be real. Or they just don't have fear. So it's not that attractive to a woman. It's not that important. That's maybe number 6. Providing. Women, I get that somebody said my sound is low. Am I talking real quiet or loud?
We turned it up. Good.
Oh, okay. People want what they want, and people are attracted to what they're attracted to. And that's changed over time. Some of it for the better, some for the worse. But if communication is the number one thing of failed marriages, failed relationships, men and women need to know how to better communicate. But YouTube says, get the bag, get the money. Okay, now you got this money, but you can't talk to a woman. And most of the women don't got no money. They don't understand anything about money anyway. That's why they're in the situation they're in. She's waving this bag around, and they've already been taught, hey, men are nothing but resources. So she's over there and dangling her goods, and the dude's on the other side of the table dangling his money. There's no real communication. It's two selfish people with two selfish goals, and they're trying to make something out of that. People's discipline is bad. Here comes a kid. Here comes something else. And then they just deal with it however. Now they're mad at the world. They're on a YouTube pound. These men ain't nothing. These dudes can't protect, provide. Okay, another one. Women understand from the talking points who men are. Okay? Scam, stop saying that. Have I said that before? Probably. Oh, he was on the panel when I was having that conversation. That's probably why. But people aren't starting out understanding, hey, is this person attracted to me? Does this person want to be with me? And why do they want to be here? That's very important. Why she wants to be here today might be why she wants to be here next year or next 10, 20, 30 years. Who is this actual person? And that goes both ways. But it's no foundation of, hey, where are we going or what are we trying to do? Who are you? What are your weaknesses? What are your strong points? How can we actually work together? Talking points, but this whole thing where there's this super alpha male and he can't be a simp, can't cry, can't look wrong, and he got to do this, he got to. And the woman, all women are bad, evil, whatever, and they, and I just wonder if all women are bad and avoid marriage at all costs, you've already eliminated the women who qualify for wifehood. Those are gone, which it ain't but 13 of them anyway. But the best woman, you've eliminated because you said you don't want marriage. Now you don't trust no woman. You don't want to share no money. You don't want to do it. Okay, now the next batch of women. So what type of woman are you going to be out here dealing with? The dusto crusties, the selfish, the evil. That's what you decided that you want. Because you've eliminated yourself from good woman. You want to do a 1 foot in, 1 foot out relationship or marriage. And I don't know. The talking points are making this worse because there's spaces where people can go and keep echoing and keep feeding off of the same conversations. It says, what do I want? Who cares about what they want? I want a spouse.
So let me say this.
My plants. Tia, there is hope. That's your choice.
Tia, let me hold on for a minute. DP. Oh, I'm sorry.
Comments.
Are you talking to me or are you talking to somebody in the chat?
Talking to the audience. They're firing comments at me. I'm going to get kicked out the manosphere. I'm in the dustosphere. So, I mean, I got a lifetime membership. I don't think they can kick me out.
So let me say this to you, DP. I don't consider a talking point saying that men or women want protection. and provision. That is a real thing. Absolutely real. I want and need my husband for a lot of reasons, and those two are included.
No, I was just saying, in terms of attraction, protection, it is very important. But how people think today, it's not. They're not going and saying, "I want a man 6'5" with abs,"
Oh, okay.
because I'm looking for protection. The way that men are coming and trying to present it, because I'm a man. Now you got protection. It's kind of like they're picking what to value and how they want to value it. And at the end of the day, value is placed on the buyer. If a woman wants this, then that's what she wants. If they value that, then that's what they value.
So you're saying you're missing the organicness. Is organicness a word? You're missing the organic part of relationship. You don't hear anything about that in these spaces.
I'm saying a lot of men are trying to force women to think like men. It doesn't work. They're saying, I got this, I got that, and they're talking from a man's point. And women value emotional intelligence and proper communication. They need it. It's one of their survival needs. That's why they're women.
You're right.
So the bag and the 6'5" and angry, masculine, whatever, comes off as something that's not appealing if it's not presented the right way.
Right.
And a lot of men don't understand it. Then they're mad. Then they go present it even madder.
Right. I can listen. I'm a definitely a witness to these talking points are ruining the situation. I want to try to get away from talking points. That's why I made the plea to anyone. If it's something that you've actually experienced, please share it with us, because we need to hear it. But please don't let it be something that somebody else experienced and you just feel and you've adopted it to be the rule of thumb for yourself, because women and men are all different. And don't allow yourself to get hardened from things that you're hearing that go on, especially in these spaces. So thank you for that.
One more, I'll make it quick.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say one more thing and make it.
Okay, go ahead.
There's the box theory, where they say, all right, as a man, I'm looking for a woman for 3 months. I'm gonna not do this, and in 3 months, I'm gonna do this. Well, some women are ready in 3 months, some are ready in 3 days, some in 3 years. Every woman is different. The woman saying, he got to make this, he got to do this, and well, some men may be great at this and bad at it. I mean, get to know the person for who they are, and you might be surprised on what you may need, because you might not be who you thought you were. Or you might value something as you see it and feel it, and realize, you know what, that ain't that big of a deal. Except for me and the weight, that's different, but continue.
All right. So, Mr. Eugene Steele, how are you doing? Oh, excuse me, Dr. Eugene Steele, how are you doing today?
I'm doing fine, ma'am, and you?
I'm doing well. So, what do you want to add to this situation?
Well, my goal is this, find a woman, who values me, because I know I'm going to value her. I don't care if she earns more than me. I don't care if I'm living in her house. I want her to value me. If I live in a woman's house, or if I move into a house, I'm not going to be sitting on my butt every day. In fact, I will not. I'm still going to be working. It's just like that one actress, I think famous actress, right? Her husband was still a cop. He was not sitting on his butt trifling.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. Gosh, what's her name? Natural Girl. She said she had been trying to do it for 15 years. And they made a promise. She said once she got successful, she told her husband that, you know what, you can quit your job. I know exactly who you're talking about, but I can't call her name right now.
Yeah. Let me say this. I mean, I'm still going to protect her no matter how successful she is, or even more successful he is than me. I'm still going to be that safety net if she falls down. Another thing I want to say is this. You talk about stipulations. Okay, a woman must have stipulations, and it makes you wonder, how much does she really value you?
Exactly.
How much? I mean, if you put out stipulations, she cares more about, what you can provide for her instead of, for you. She doesn't really value you. And this is what I'm saying. You know, if I look for a woman, I want the woman to value me the same way I would value her.
You're very right. And you're right. Totally all the way around. It's Tabitha Brown is who you were speaking of. Tabitha Brown is her name.
Mhm.
And you're right. The stipulations, that it supersedes. No, I shouldn't say supersedes. That is not a standard. A standard is, you know, a good man, a provider, so a man that works, a man who has a plan, you know, a man who loves you. That is a standard. When you start talking about, I need to have a wedding with 300 people, I need a ring that is over $30,000. I gotta have. Now listen, I don't need you. I got my own insurance policy. I got my own car. I got my own. That's what this woman said a moment ago in the video that we started with. She had all those things that she named off. Now, I'm not saying that woman was telling a woman that was wanting to be married that, but just the fact that she said that this was more attractive to men. She's telling women that it's more attractive to men if they have all these things. She's keeping women single. Because a man needs and wants to feel loved and needed. I mean, listen, if you affection, kind, and loving to a man, oh, he melts. They melt, ladies. They melt.
Mm-hmm.
They melt. It's not even hard. You just got to figure out that. And all it is putting their needs before yours. It ain't got to be every day, all day. It's just consideration for that man. They melt. That's what they want. They don't want a woman to approach them like, what can you do for me? What? I can't do nothing for you. I'm good. Go on by your business. You got everything. All you need now is a toy, right? It's over. So this is just, those for me are stipulations. And some woman that is probably my age or maybe my age or older, maybe younger, this is the information that she's given to a younger generation of women. And I'm saying, women, it's okay to trust and love. It's okay to be married. You can find all that satisfaction that you need. Yeah. You want to play it again? Okay, we're going to play it again, guys. So for you all that have just come into the live, make sure y'all giving me the thumbs up. Come on, guys. Get those likes up, please. Y'all mute your microphones for us. Please mute them. We're going to play the video once more.
At Pink 75.
Smart ladies, always have your own. Always have your own independence. Never allow a man to fully take care of you. That is a very, very big mistake. Always have your own money, car, career, insurance, savings. Have your own. First and foremost, it's very attractive. Secondly, it's not attractive when you don't have your own. Thirdly, you become a liability to that man than an asset, which eventually becomes a turnoff, okay? And then when he starts resenting you for that, what's going to happen? He's going to mistreat you, belittle you, disrespect you, okay? So always have your own, because then you have options. So if things are getting rocky in the relationship or things are dysfunctional in the relationship, you can pack your bags and you can leave, and you don't have to settle or tolerate a man's BS. Have your own, because first and foremost, it gains your respect. And then the story becomes, you don't need a man, you want a man, but he must be the right man. Remember, I told you, ladies, take notes.
She told you, ladies, take notes. And that was her idea of the road to happiness.
Throw that damn notebook in the trash.
That was her road to happiness. So, Black Man Unfiltered, how are you doing today? I'm assuming you somewhere in between here and work. How you doing?
I am on Interstate 30, headed home. I got a long ride ahead of me, but I want to call in to support none other than Security Boss Unsolicited in the building today, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, go over to the SB Nation 5-star store and pick you up some merchandise. Come on now and get them likes up. Let's get them up. So anyway, you know, I always have to do my commercial when I come on.
I know, I appreciate
that. Yeah, so leave him at the restaurant. Man, you know, Hank is an amazing guy. You know, I told him he should coin that phrase, leave him at the restaurant. And then I told him I'll put a song with it, and we'll see what happens. But to all jokes aside, I think that we got to start getting to know people before we get to know people. And what I mean by that is, you know, Steve Harvey wrote a book for the women, told them to think like a man. And it's really working for his daughter right now. She's really thinking like a man. But
wait a minute, Black Man. We don't know what Lori Harvey is thinking. Why would Look, I'm gonna let you slide with that one.
Yeah,
But
let me slide. Come on.
unless you give us something that's a little closer to home, because I don't like to get into celebrity mess. I
No,
don't.
no, 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 no. I didn't want to. I'm not. No, I use that as a walking. I'm walking through the door. I'm walking through the door. So
Walking
watch
through the
this.
door. Okay, so I'm opening
Yeah.
the door. I'm opening the door. But before you
Okay.
say that though, let me say this too. I agree that we have a lot of issues, and I want to say this right here because a lot of people need help. I'm
Mm-hmm.
noticing and I'm feeling that a lot of people need help. We have gone through a lot of traumas, and
Right.
I said this before, guys. And Black man, I don't know if I said it with me and you, but anyway, we have to slow down sometime, and we have to really listen to what people are saying to us and have compassion and empathy for what they're saying. And we can't just always beat them up. Okay, we can't always do that. So
Right.
that's what I'm trying to do better. I can't always just take people for face value. I have to slow down and figure and hear exactly what they're saying, because they tell us in their own way, but we have to
Mhm.
really hear them. So there we go. All
Right.
right, go ahead, Black man.
And I want. I know. I want to say, get to know people before you get to know people. And what I mean by that is, the reason I brought up the book, is because the book was teaching something. So I think that we need to write our own book as men, especially men. We need to write our own book about dating. Now, the first thing in that book, the first rule in that book for men is to have penis discipline, not out here skeeting your seed, because your legacy is in your seed, and you don't want to plant your seed in the wrong garden. And so the first thing is we got to have some type of penis discipline. I heard a platform the other day, and I was on a platform the other day where this young man was saying that he's going to tell his son to have sex with everything. Have sex with everything. Hit everything moving. This is what he said he's going to teach his son. He said that there's cheeks out there to clap. Every cheeks need to be clapped. Clap as many cheeks as you can. Get them. It's women out here that need to be having sex with. You are part of the problem, sir. You're part of the problem. And so the second thing is, when I say get to know people before you get to know people, is that I think that men should have deep discipline. They should not go in the door saying what you have, how much money you got, what you know. Getting to know her is not trying to have sex with her in front. No, you need to have phone conversations with her. You need to call her periodically, see how she's doing, check on her, let her check on you. Talk about different things in life, what you want, what you don't want. Before you go spend $100 on a date, say, hey, listen, meet me at this park. Let's go take a walk around the park and have a conversation. And get to know her body language. See how she reacts to the people around her. See how she acts to people that cut her off in traffic, or people that may step in front of her in line. Just the small things, because the small things lead to the bigger things.
So what if
right?
what if one of our two of her stipulations?
Uh-huh.
Remember, if she came with stipulations, we're gonna leave her at the restaurant. You're saying now we already in the restaurant, because you just said we took
Right,
out.
right, yeah.
What if her?
Yeah.
What if one of her stipulations was that I require fine dining? What do you think about that?
Well, and I would counter, because see, you have to give some, like you just said, you have to slow down and listen, and give her some grace. And I would say, I understand you like fine dining, and that is all a part of the plan. However, the foundation of what I'm looking for as a leader is I'm looking for you. And so I want to see how you are without the fine dining. I want to go have a walk with you in the park. And if she tell me, well, I'm not walking in the park, I need some fine dining. Oh, okay, no problem. Then don't leave her at the restaurant. Leave her at the park. Because that's what happens. You when you get to know people, she get an attitude. Most women, like your self-security boss, and Mr. Boss came to you and he said, hey, your security boss, I know Mr. Boss put that game on you. I know Mr. Boss had that game. So I know Mr. Boss was probably like, hey, listen, Miss Sexy Chocolate, I need to, can we just go and walk her in the park? You're not going to tell Mr. Boss, I ain't walking in no park with you. No. You would say, if right now you guys weren't married, you would allow him the opportunity to come into your life and get to know you and him leading to get to know you. No sex, no nothing. Hey, let's go walk in the park. Let's have a conversation. Hey, let's go see a movie. Let's go to one of these street taco trucks and sit out front of one of these taco trucks and have a taco dinner tonight. Just have a conversation. right? And you'll get to know.
I think a good woman would love that.
Absolutely. Right? But if she give you any kickback, if she give you any pushback, I'm not eating from no taco truck. I don't know who you think I am. You know what? You right. You show right, baby. Hey, listen, let me go get the car. I'll be right back. We're going to take you where you want to go. And leave her at the taco truck.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one because I happen to think that would be a good beginning date for someone. I actually think that would be good.
Yeah, you don't have to go spend $100 and all that.
Let me share something with you.
What if she's on a diet?
Well, y'all need to discuss that before. Wait a minute. What's wrong with a taco? What's wrong with a taco truck? What's all that leafy stuff you can add? You can have the tomatoes, the lettuce. You don't have to have the sour cream. You can put it all in a bowl. You don't have to have the shell.
And here's security boss.
She's in the quality food. Like she weighs 120 pounds and runs track, and she's in the quality organic. But not comfortable with the
organic.
You got to respect it. You got to respect it. So what you would say is, hey. Yeah. If you're into that, hey, listen, I'm open-minded, and that'll let her know something about you. I'm open-minded, and you like to compromise as well. So hey, listen, you're training your body. Hey, listen, how about this? There's a vegan truck over there. I've always wanted to try some vegan food. Maybe there's some over there I may like. Is that cool with you? Yeah, it's cool with me. All right, let's go over here and try this vegan food real quick. There's nothing wrong with switching the idea of where you're going. It's just the fact of where you're going, how she reacts to what your idea is.
Right.
I was just about to say that, Anderson, because here there's a food truck. There's a restaurant here that serves international food, right? International cuisine, but they got several food trucks that they go out throughout town and serve the same stuff on the menu. You know what I'm saying? They got 3 brick and mortar locations, and they got like 5 food trucks that they just go in different parts of town and sell the same food. They cook it right there. So you can do that. I mean, there are restaurants who do that. So just take a few minutes, look it up, see which ones do what, and go from there.
But what I've got from what he said is that, and this is what falls into a lot of relationship, is that no one's willing to compromise anymore.
If somebody's not willing to compromise, that's not the person you're going to marry. That doesn't even make sense coming in the door. How you not going to compromise? 2 different people, a man and a woman, we're totally different coming in the door. Somebody's got to be sacrificial. Somebody's got to say, okay, tonight, and yes. I mean, there's no way you cannot compromise.
But there's a lot of people, and this goes for men and women, that they go, nope, I want this, that, and the third, and I ain't budging on it at all.
That's cool.
I would say those are stipulations, and that would be someone.
Yeah.
Whatever is a man or a woman, I would say this is something that you don't want to tie yourself to. That's what I
understand. There's certain things that you should hold. There's certain things that you should hold your square on. There are certain things you should hold your square on when it goes to character and moral values and all that stuff. I completely agree with that. But it comes to like, no, I ain't going on a date with you unless I'm going to a 5-star restaurant. Really? Come on.
Yeah,
buy a dog and die alone. Buy a dog and die alone.
So, Mike, what you saying about that? If they say if she doesn't want to deal with the 5-star, what are you saying? What's the proper response for the 5-star restaurant?
She doesn't like you.
She's more concerned.
Ma'am.
She's more concerned about the experience than getting to know you.
Well, listen.
Right.
Let me tell you something. And I bet if she got to know you, you would probably eventually she would get to that 5-star restaurant. But the fact is, she can't you.
Right.
There's a lot of people who want.
She want to go to work the next day.
But here's
she want to go to work the next day.
The thing, a lot of people want to jump the gun and go straight to the 5-star restaurant.
Oh, trying to impress a woman. Trying to impress the woman. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, but there's a lot of women that and this could be social media talking because we hear this all the time. It's like, unless a date ain't what is it, Applebee's or Chili's and none of that, you better be taking me to one of these 5-star restaurants, one of the expensive restaurants. If you ain't taking me to that, other than I ain't messing with you.
Then that's cool.
I'm taking you to Texas Roadhouse. All right, and I'm gonna enjoy a steak, and you have whatever you want. If you want fine dining on the first date, you're not what I'm looking for.
Bro,
you know what, man?
Then she's not what I'm looking for. So,
and you know what you need to do?
Mhm.
You know what you need to, you know what you do in that situation?
No, that's what I
If she
did.
say,
I've done
I
that.
know what I'm saying. In that situation, you just tell her two can play that game. You don't even have to mean it. But if she starts saying, "Oh, I'm not going to that," you know what? I understand your requirements. You know, and because I'm a salesperson at heart, so I play the game with her. Oh, you know what? I understand. I know you don't want to go to a 5-star restaurant. It's my apologies. Hey, listen, I'm gonna take you to a 5-star restaurant. We're gonna get everything you need. Matter of fact, when I take you to the 5-star restaurant, after we leave, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and call your babysitter, tell your babysitter you're not coming home tonight. I need you to go to the house. First, I want you to strip for me, take all your clothes off for me. And then I want you to get butt naked, strip for me. I want you to come in the room. I want you to cook me breakfast in the morning, and I want to hit it.
Pause, black man.
Wait a
Here's the
minute,
thing.
hold
When
on
it
for a
comes
minute.
to things like that, if a woman's making those kind of
Yeah.
demands, hold on. When a woman's making those kind of demands of me, from the get-go, I'm completely turned off.
Yeah.
And that's why I turned them down from the get-go. I don't even go out on a date with them if that's what they come at me with. I don't even go out on a date with them. And like, people have heard me talk, but I meet women all the time. It's just they don't go anywhere because I run into a lot of this stuff. And that's why I agree with Panderson and Security Boss when they say these talking points, they really are messing people up in the head.
Come up.
They are. I'm just like, what relationship and marriage have you seen work like that?
You want to know what me and my first wife date was?
What was it? Yeah.
The very first Avengers movie.
What was it?
The very first Avengers movie. The very first
cool.
Right. And see, that would be cool,
But-
man. You
but
went to
we
the
went-
movies.
But we went through one of the drive-through theaters.
Oh, with the big, like the outside drive-through.
Yeah.
Oh, you might. Wait a minute. How long you been married? How long you been married?
I'm almost been married for almost like. Actually, it's coming. Next year will be 7 years.
Now listen. Next time somebody asks you that question, I need you to rapid fire. I don't need you over there thinking about how long you've been married. So listen, is that drive-in movie theater still there?
Probably not, but this was back in North Carolina.
Oh, congratulations. That is an excellent first date. That's an excellent date, period.
Vietnam?
That is great.
No, it was Camp Lejeune. Because I was we were in the Marine Corps at the time.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Camp Lejeune, Marines.
I wish that still existed. Y'all, let me do the super chat here. AL, how are you doing? Thank you so much for your $2 super chat. First date shouldn't be dinner. Do something fun. Oh, I'm telling you, do something fun. Do something fun. And another thing, AL,
and that was one of the reasons why I love my wife is that she did not care about expenses, getting the bag. Like, oh, you got to buy me this, buy me that, go ahead and spend it. No, she wants to sit there and have, like, she's happy with a walk in the park.
That's excellent. So you found that woman. There are a lot of them. There are a lot of women like that. And that's what men are looking for. And women, you know what? I always tell men they're not on social media. Does your wife do social media? Or did she?
No, not really. She only does it to keep it up with family. And she'll post like every once in a blue moon. But she's the type of person, like if I were to sit here and buy her a Louis or a Gucci, she'll sit there and turn it back in and say, why'd you buy me this? We could have gone to Disney or something like that. Have a good time.
Yep.
You don't care about materialistic things like that.
Oh, that's excellent.
Now, Security Boss, you could tell those men that simp and do that for those women because those women forced them into that. You could tell the ones because the lady and the guy will both be 40 years old, but he'll look like he's 75 because he's stressed out on how he's going to keep maintaining that life, and she's still look like she's 30.
Okay, but wait a minute. Hold on. Are you talking about in a marriage relationship, black man?
Absolutely.
So you're saying in a marriage relationship, the one that you just gave an example of, the woman is controlling the man to the point that he has to go out and buy her $2,500 purses, Louis Vuitton, in order to be happy, and then he has no say into what is going on. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, man. Let me tell you how I know. I used to sell cars. Men used to come in by themselves. I want to buy a car for my wife for her birthday. This is what they used to say. And I'd be like, okay, cool. I'll show him the car. He pick out a car. The wife comes to the dealership and says, hey, this the car. He said, go show her the car and go drive around. And I said, cool, I got her. She pull up. I said, hey, ma'am, how you doing? Open the door for her, have a seat. She said, this must be one of y'all demo cars or something. You just taking me on a ride. And this is not the one he picked, is it? I said, yes, ma'am. Baby, he's going to have to do better than that.
Oh
Now,
wow.
now, the husband had already told me
I have to go,
that
y'all.
the husband already told me that
Yeah.
this is what he can afford. This is what he can afford. She comes in and picks something that makes the payment go up $200. The down payment goes up another $1,000. He's sitting there stressed out, like, damn, like I really don't want to do this. But she looking at him upside the head, and that's why they teach us in sales. And which is, I look at it now like, damn, they teach us in sales. Always go to the woman because the woman controls the man in any sales pitch you do.
So let me ask you a question, Black Man. What is the I mean, they're married or what have you, but what is the solution to that, though? I want to hear some, because listen, let's be honest. Let's be honest. We have some women that totally act out of order because I can appreciate a gift. I don't care. And you got men who are totally controlling with finances also, and made like he came and bought something and didn't tell his woman, vice versa. So what do we do? I know you ain't got all the answers, but what can we do, or what can we suggest that could make that situation better? Because I'm always trying to push marriage being forever, and I hear echo.
It's not me.
Oh, Black Man, if you're not talking, mute yourself, but you're talking now. So go ahead and answer that question.
I think the solution would be we have to get back to the nuclear family. The man has to. I had a show about 2 weeks ago, and half the men on this panel was on it. And the name of the show was "We Got to Get Our Nuts Back." And what the men have to do is the men have to step up and say, "Listen, this is what we can afford. If you want this, we're going to get what we can afford. If you don't want it, then you're going to be without." And that's what it's going to be. We're not going to go into debt because you want to be popular in front of your friends. Either you want it, or you're not, or you don't want it. And if you want it that bad, you can go out, because I'm paying the mortgage, I'm paying the bills. Me and you are working. I'm working hard in this house. And if you're not really, you're not doing a lot anyway. So
Wait,
so if you want,
not doing a lot. Why you say she's not?
No. What I'm saying is, if she gets that serious, you have to start going to the things that she's doing. If I'm allowing you to be at home and to take care of home and take care of the kids, and I'm stepping up making sure that you're okay, then you have to be okay with my leadership because I'm leading. You can't tell me, oh, I want us to go in debt. Oh, I need you to spend another $15,000 on this car so my friends can like me. If you want to spend another extra $15,000 for your friends, go to your friends for a $15,000 loan. But in this house, I'm gonna lead this way, huh?
So wait a minute, mute yourself out for just a second. I'm gonna come back. Mute yourself out for a second. We're gonna do this $10 super chat from Luke Casely. How are you, Luke Casely? It's good to see you. And she says, my first date with my husband was 1 hour lunch. The second date were the movies. The third date was an all-day hike. Oh, I like that. I think he was testing my physical endurance. Laugh out loud. Listen, that is excellent. This is what I'm talking about. I love this type of stuff. I always say my husband and I used to date by going to the car wash, and everybody thought I was crazy. We used to get in each other's, I would get in my car, he would get in his car, and we would drive to the car wash and wash our cars for a date. But Luke, so you get the super chat of the Moneyline song for your super chat.
Give me mine. Going up, need no decline.
Moneyline.
I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, need no decline. Yeah, yeah.
So Black Man, I want to add something to what you were saying. Before, don't unmute though. Let me tell you. I hear what you're saying, and you men do. Oh, well, I'm not gonna say you do. I do agree with putting your foot down, but I think it should have been done before you came in the door, or before she came in the door.
Absolutely.
She got to be a part of your plan. And if you are allowing her to purchase these things on her own, for her own pleasures, then it has to be okay to do so. It can't be, we can't get mad about it. Either we have the plan that we live in and the parameters that the husband sets, or we're doing it opposite. We can't,
okay.
You just can't get upset about it if you agreed to it. That's
okay. Can I ask you this?
Really quick. Yeah, you can. 1 second. Reagan Ronald. Thank you for your $1 super chat. Yeah, go ahead, Reagan.
I want you to sit there and say that this speaks to.
So for the men that's watching right now that are in a marriage and have been married for 2, 3, 4 years, how many years they've been married, what advice would you give those men that's saying, you know what, I'm looking at Security Boss right now. I'm ready to make a change in my life. I'm ready to step up. I always been weak around my wife. I don't want to do that no more. I want to be a leader in my home, and I'm ready to put my foot down. What advice do you give to those men that are ready to put their foot down and tell their wife, hey, listen, this is how things are going to be, and this is we're going to fix our finances. You're not going to run us in the ground. What would you say to those men?
I got
Okay.
you.
First thing I would say, I would ask that man or those men, have you been around other married men that display what you're trying to do? Then second, I would say the most important thing is for you to be humble in your era. Because if you're humble in your era, these things will all fall into place. Because what you're saying is, baby, I was dead wrong. I wasn't the man I should have been. And me, along with you, have run this off the damn cliff. So I'm taking responsibility for it as your leader, as the head of the household, as the man that you should have been able to look up to for provision and protection and ministry and the covering. I ran it off. I'm wrong, but we're going to get it back on track. And I'm going to learn how to do this because I want better for myself. I want to feel good about being married, and I want to be married for life. So, that's where I was. That's what I would tell men. Now, this is a woman telling the men, but I also would tell you, like the first thing I said, I would get around other men if possible that are exemplifying what you say you want and ask them where are your struggles, what's good, what's bad. Because guess what, black man? A lot of women are better at things than men are, but men are afraid to delegate those things to those women to get all that pressure off of them. And the women they would probably be like, yeah, I got it. Be happy to play that role because now now me and you doing stuff together. We're together now. I feel you. You my man. You're my mate. Now we're acting as one. When I'm doing something over here and you doing something over here, we say we married, but we really ain't together. I need to feel my man. I need to feel, like him and I are a couple. We're together. We're doing this. And I think that's what's missing. Hey, Janae, I think that's what's missing in a lot of relationships is that there's no togetherness and effort. But again, first and foremost, go find those men folks that are exemplifying what you want your marriage to look like. 2, be humble enough to realize that you and her ran it off in a cliff, but you first, because she follows your lead. They really do. I know men, y'all don't believe that. I know y'all be like, this woman over here acting out, blah, blah, blah. She do be acting out, but it's because y'all acted off. Y'all was off and she was out. If you get on, she'll be on. I promise you, y'all women love men that love them.
Now, security boss.
Yes.
Now, normally I ain't gonna push back on you because you be hitting, you be killing. However, I will say there are men that have been off, and since they've been off, they get their stuff together. These women fall in line, but they're also because we talk about we have 2 different type of women we talk about: traditional and modern, right? And so the traditional woman would say, she'll talk to herself into it. You know what? I have been acting kind of stupid with my man. Let me get my stuff together, right? Let me get in line, right? But then you have the modern woman saying, listen, you should have, you had, like you just said, you tell a man the advice you get a man. You have some modern women that could be nice about it or mean about it and say, hey, listen, you should have said that shit coming in the door. Hey, if you can't accept me for who I am, then shit, we got a problem, right? And so you do have women that ain't those that refuses or will be rebellious when it comes to you trying to do the best you can, because we got to remember we're human, and some human beings of the female species, they remember what you used to be. They ain't concerned about what you're trying to be.
Can I speak from a male's point of view about the whole marriage thing?
Let me answer that, and yes, sure. Okay. Black man, I totally agree with you, but what you have to understand is, I don't know for a fact, but it kind of sounds like that man coming into the relationship was maybe a modern, single-minded man also, in order for him to have attracted the woman that you just mentioned, the modern woman that you mentioned.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. So now,
most of the time, yep.
Now you're trying to change, I suppose. I'm not sure where you're going, but are we trying to change the all the parameters of the relationship, or are we just trying to have the best marriage that we can have? Because if we came in modern, that sounds like 50-50, or you do some and I do some. I would still say make the best of that relationship that you have, but still be a couple in doing so. You just gonna have to map out the agreements. You're gonna have to map out the agreements and just stop with the foolishness. And still, now again, it all depends on how you came with that relationship. I'm talking to you just straight out. I built mine, my husband and I, we straight on godly principles, you know that. But if you're saying we didn't have them and now I got them and I got them today and she ain't trying to get them, you got to continue to speak life into her, and or if that's what you want, in order to get that. Because I still say, if she's not disrespectful to you, not knocking you over the head, not stealing from you, you still have to make that situation work till it can be better. But you can't still be two separate entities, on two separate planes. We still have to try to always come together. And listen, this is me, and this might be me being stupid, but I can't see how a woman would resist that. Now, maybe resist it in the beginning because you got growing pains you got to go through. I'm changing. I'm no longer that person I was, but now I got to be something different. So, I mean, you feeding into her, you loving on her, and she's still saying, I don't want you, or I'm doing what I want to do. I just can't, because I don't know what that woman would want. I can't imagine what that woman would want. If I'm married, what else am I wanting besides an excellent relationship with the man that loves me? What else am I wanting?
Okay, well, I was on a panel with Hink. I was on a panel with Hink Mandrell. I know Mandrell's gone, but Hink, Mandrell, and a few other guys. And I know Hink's gonna remember this. You're gonna see a big smile on his face in a minute. Where we had a bunch of women on the panel, and on the panel that we were on, and the women said, when I get with a man, he has to have 5%, 10, make way more than I make. If he meet me and I got a house, he gonna move into my house. We're not. If we sell my house, I'm not gonna sell my house and share no money with my man. Period. So when I sell the house, that money go to me. Ain't gonna be no, oh, my money, your money. No, when I meet you, if I have a home, if you saying we're gonna sell a home and get one together, when I sell a house, that money goes into my account. You won't touch that account. You're not gonna see that money. And so you're not gonna control me in that area. You're not gonna discipline my children. You're not gonna have access to my money, because when you come into my life, you need to make 10 times more than I make and be able to pay all my bills, the mortgage and everything, and my money stays with me, and I choose to do what I want to do with my own money. Hink, am I lying, Hink? We had several women on the panel agreeing with that, saying yes, absolutely, girl. That's what I'm talking about.
So what's your question for me? What's your question for me?
So my question is, what do you say to those women that want to be married but have those mindsets?
I would say that they may not want to be married, because when you get married, listen, I see it as the man that I'm marrying is an asset. He's a plus, and I see myself as a plus. If I'm seeing a man and I don't see him as a plus, then he's not going to be the man that I marry. I wouldn't marry a man that I didn't see as a plus. And if I'm not willing to share with him my life, then that would be scary to me, because I would always wonder. I'm going in not trusting. Actually, I don't trust him going in, because I'm hiding my goods. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. In marriage, I want to win. I want to give all so I can receive all. Now, is anything in life guaranteed? Absolutely not. But what do I have to lose? I don't see the law. I don't see myself losing anything. So that's just who I am. Y'all, let me read this. Christopher Lee. Hello, Christopher. Let me read this $5 super chat, and we can get Mike W next. And Hink. Hello, sir. Why are you sitting up there so quiet? But let me read this super chat. Christopher Lee says, I was told the other day that I was simping and pandering because I said Angryman was wrong for yelling at SB on Fight Club. Listen. Now listen, let me say this, Christopher. Thank you so much for recognizing that there was no yelling necessary. It was not. Second part of that, SB is very married. And from what I understand, simping means you didn't do nothing of that. Third thing, it's okay for a man to be a gentleman and want to protect a woman. And see, what's happening is these talking points that we have, It's preventing and keeping men from being men because they're don't want to be called out of their name or don't want to be insulted by other people that don't think the same way that they do. So I'm telling you, thank you and continue to be the man that you are and don't allow someone to keep you from being that man. Now, AL, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. And he says, what else? She wants it all. And then once she gets it all, she wants more. Then complains it's too much and blame him for doing too much. Laugh out loud. You're right. I don't know. You know, sometimes, let me say this. Sometimes there may be good women and they may be real good women, but the goodness is hidden under some layers of trauma. Mm-hmm. You can see they're good women, but that trauma kind of veers its head because of experiences they've had in the past or even what they're experiencing right now. And if you know that they're good women, and you really want to invest that kind of time and energy into a good woman, because there's not many of them here. Y'all know that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but know what you get into and suggest the help, suggest the counseling. So, you know, have that empathy for that person. Don't try to act like this person experience was a joke. You know, they had real experiences. They had a man drag them, or they had a man leave them, or they had a man, you know, do something, violate them in some way. That's don't pretend that it doesn't happen. It has happened. So don't, y'all have to address that kind of stuff for real. You know, it happened. It's not me. I wouldn't dare do that, but that's going to require time. I can't just believe everything you say. You got to put some time into me. I got to see you move differently. I got to see you respond differently. So even though I might be talking out the side of my neck the first time I meet you, that's just that wall I got up just to see if you're going to come back. You come back a second time, I may not be as crazy. Then the third time you come back, I might be like, you want something to eat?
But
then
why do you feel the need to test?
I disagree.
A test yeah, it is a test, but it's not meant to be a test.
I think it's
so
a
much
test
trauma,
for she failed.
if I've had so much trauma in my life, I don't readily recognize a good man. I don't, because they all look good when they're walking up for the. Anybody can be good for 90 days. Anybody.
And here's the thing about good man or
You
good
ain't got
woman.
time for the games like that, though.
But here's the thing, though. Here's the thing about good man and good women. People claim they want a good man and good woman, but only actually a small percent of them can actually handle it.
I don't know about that.
I agree.
Well, if you got trauma and like what you just said, you got stuff that you're lingering on from your past, how the hell are you supposed to be able to handle a good man?
Well, guess what? You can be a good man. Just if you're a good man and you're just a kind person, you can recognize that I got trauma. You ain't got to be my lover coming in the door. You could be like, baby girl, who hurt you?
Security boss.
What you doing tonight? I want you to go get some help.
Hey,
You
she's a
have-
to be left at the
Victim
restaurant.
cards have expired.
wait a minute. I can't. Hold on for a minute.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
That scenario you just gave, she's a prime example of why you need to leave at the restaurant. There's
Exactly.
no way.
Well, no, see,
look, at a certain age, you don't have time for the games, the drama, the bullshit. We are over 30-something years old on this platform. And now, while there's some younger people out there, maybe if you're in your early 20s, you could deal with the little mind games like that. If that's what you want to go with and deal with, yeah, okay, cool. But man, you in your 30s, you ain't got time for the games no more. This is serious. This is real.
It's a little different though, Hank. I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I agree with you to a degree, but the part that we don't look at, the part that's never talked about, and I'm not trying to do tit for tat, but men have a lot of drama also. Men come with a lot of trauma that we never even talk about. And I'm gonna tell you something more. You won't even get that trauma. You won't even get into it until you fall in love. Until you find, huh?
We shouldn't be dating. If me as a man, if I'm coming with trauma and drama and all that bullshit, I'm not dating anyone, because I'm not going to do nothing but make a future a bad situation, because I'm gonna ruin her and I'm gonna ruin myself even more. Now
that
I'm gonna
could definitely happen
because I'm still under my bullshit. No, that ain't how I roll. That ain't how.
And you know what? I got Hink back on that, because Hink told me. We was on a panel the other night, and Hink told me, and we were expressing, the things that break men, and we were talking about being fathers and how our fathers treated us. And Hink said, "Hey, listen, when I was growing up, I didn't have the best relationship with my dad." He said, "However, over the years, I've done the work. I'm in therapy. right? I go to therapy. I'm getting to work. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do so I can be good for someone else. So he's understood. I have some issues some concerns I don't want to bring into a relationship, and I need to fix those things before that woman comes along that I want to marry and spend the rest of my life with. So he's doing the work.
No, I'm agreeing with Hink, and I'm not even talking about Hink. I'm just
No. I'm saying in general, like men should look at what Hink is doing and fix themselves. Like it's possible, is what I'm saying.
But you listen, black man, if y'all don't know it, y'all got to open your eyes to it. Sometimes men hide things so deep and they never ever talk about it, and it will never be revealed until they fall in love with a woman.
You can't shit from yourself.
But there's a reason.
No, you can't. You listen.
Everybody else, but you can't. Yourself.
You cannot hide it from yourself. You're exactly right. But what you tell yourself is that it didn't matter. Listen, I'm gonna tell you like this. I had a man come here one night and he told me some things men are just gonna take to their grave. What exactly do you think he was saying?
Yeah.
Let him take it to the grave. What's wrong with that?
No. That's trauma.
Right.
Meaning you'll never know. You'll never know.
Tell me some shit.
Right, but you don't know if they hurt you. Nobody. Let it go in the grave.
Yeah,
what that means.
I'll never talk about it.
But security boss, hear me out. When you're talking about there's a man meets woman, he sees a woman, she's pretty, she's nice, she's friendly, meaning there's a reason he wants to take her out and get to know her.
Right.
Then he goes and sits in front of her, and here comes, I'm a victim. Trauma.
No.
Victim cards have expired. As a man, I'm expected to bring my best, or at least put up a fight.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me a story? Are you telling me? Or are you asking me?
I'm just talking about the trauma thing, where it's not.
It doesn't work like that. No, DP. It's not that way. You don't know. She's not going to verbalize the trauma. Nobody does. You just see the reaction. Some women, and we're going back to women. Some women, you touch them in a certain way, they do like this.
Okay.
There's certain things that people do.
Okay, when is this trauma? You're talking about initially, I'm getting to know a woman and she's just bringing trauma?
She's not bringing, when you say, no, trauma is something within me. It has nothing to do with you. How am I bringing it? I'm missing something when you say I'm bringing it. That sounds like drama you're talking about. No, this person didn't come with any drama. They have trauma because of the way they were brought up or things that happened to them in their past. That's all I'm saying.
But at the end of the day, it's very simple.
Conversation though.
If I'm dealing with a woman, and trauma is conflicting from us going forward, it's not gonna work.
Okay.
No, just meaning, why should I have to be the husband? Because all I'll be doing is enabling. Now I have to be the husband and the wife. I got to do my job and I got to do her job.
So let me give you an example of something. I'm gonna put you in a situation that's so simple that you're not gonna even see it. But when I share it with you, then you're going to see it. What I mean is this. If you grew up in a household where your dad was a tyrant, and even as a child, you remember from 5 years old, if you were sitting at the table and you went to go get your Kool-Aid and it fell over, and you knocking your Kool-Aid over, which was what 5-year-olds do, he screamed and hollered at you so much, he got you so much in a panic. You're so timid that you didn't even know that you were timid. You just got used to being with this tyrant. And that was your response, because over the years, it never stopped. So if you knocked something over, you tripped out because you live with a tyrant. See, what happens is we have no idea how things we grow up in affect us. We just think we're good because you're not crying, you're not broke down, you're functioning, you're fine, you're grown. Okay, so guess what? You grew up with that tyrant. You done went through all high school and all of this. You never knew that that tyrant made you timid. So timid to the point you didn't even want to try out for basketball because you just, you like, whatever, left it alone. So then when you got older, right? You in your own life, you knock something over or some water spills, you go into damn rage because the water spilled because you made a mistake. You know why you go into that rage? Because that tyrant that you live with all your life put inside of you that you're not supposed to make a mistake and it's not all right for you to make one. You had no idea it was going on though. But when you knock over that water, you flip the hell out because you knocked over a cup of water. And everybody's looking at you like, what? Damn. you know, everybody's looking at you because you just responded that way. You had no idea that was trauma. You had no idea because you were perfect and everything you wanted to do would be perfect, but you had no idea that tyrant you live with made you timid to the point that if you messed up, them feelings was gonna follow. But you met a woman that said, "Babe, it's okay, no big deal." You need that reassuring. And now, if you're trying to tell me men don't go through things like this or women don't go through, I mean, you know, people, period.
No,
It's real. It's so real.
I'm more trying to simplify it.
That's when you realize you need to get some help.
Yeah, okay, that's my point.
That's when you need to get help.
Okay, but I'm more trying to simplify it from the beginning.
But that was my point. You didn't know that you needed help because you were just concentrating on being perfect. See, in order to be whole, you know, we always talk about being whole. In order to be whole, you got to first tell yourself that you might mess up. You're not perfect. But if you have gone through your whole life, this happens a lot when you have military dads. It happens a lot because the expectation is perfection. And yes. You don't know that it's getting in your head that you got to be perfect. But it doesn't happen to everybody. I'm not saying it happens to everybody, y'all. Now, come on.
A child that went through verbal abuse for a long time.
No,
I'm referring to a different type of situation.
I'm not even making it that big. I wanted to make it smaller so y'all could see what I was talking about.
Okay.
I'm not talking about
people
that sounds like an example of verbal abuse.
It could be, but you don't know. No, because guess what? Verbal abuse sometimes comes in a package of I'm finna make you a man. Right?
I'm referring to something different then. Because I'm just referring to
usually verbal abuse.
Try to bring the A game. She's bringing her F game.
Hink, wait a minute. Hold on for a minute. Hink, when we were younger, nobody ever used the words verbal abuse. That never came out of anybody's mouth. Even though they yelled and screamed and act crazy, nobody said, "You're being verbally abused tonight." That didn't happen.
Hey, we understand that. In our age group, you're right. But hey, in 2022, that's what it is. So listen, have a lot of us been through some shit like that? Yes,
exactly. That's the point I'm trying to make. That's the point. That's all. I was just using something that anybody could. I wasn't trying to be heavy. But Primal Study says, well, if you are raging over spilled water, you're not in a good place today. That's the only thing. But guess what? You don't know this until somebody else points it out. Because this is what you've been doing the whole time. You knock something over, you've been cussing yourself. Y'all seen this. People have an accident. They go. If you go outside right now and have an accident in your car, you bump somebody's car, they liable to be out there fighting because they had an accident and bumped into somebody's car. It could be just a small fender bender. They be ready to fight. Y'all seen this before. People shoot each other over these type things because they're out of control and they have no knowledge of it. None. Hey, Aaron.
Hello.
I was gonna call you today.
I just got back into town, so
I heard that you were leaving, so I wasn't gonna bother. But I had you on my brain. But it's good to see you.
I'm always happy to be here. How y'all doing?
Doing good. So anyway, that's all I'm trying to say. DP, I was just trying to give a small example of how sometimes things that shape us, our traumas, are totally overlooked. And
I was taking it as a whole different scenario.
Well, I figured you were. I figured you were talking about the more deliberate stuff, like relationship stuff. I'm not talking about like it could be that. No, don't take away from that. I'm just saying it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't have to be. But that person who spilled the milk, they still need help. The verbal torture or the verbal abuse. You see, we think that we was verbal. If you really want to call it verbal abuse when we was younger, we think we had that and we good. Wasn't nothing good about that, y'all. Some of us may be really affected by it, especially if you're doing it to your own children or your wife or whoever. You ain't good. It's not normal. But we be like, oh, they got out of hand. What? No. There's nothing normal about that. You're breaking spirits of little people or big people, your wife, whoever. That's what it's supposed to be.
I recall getting with my cousin. We used to laugh and make jokes at each other whenever our uncle, who was the drunk uncle, would do some shit like that. Man, y'all ain't shit. Y'all a bunch of N-words. Y'all ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Just verbally abusive to us. But so back, man, you remember, man, Uncle such and such would get drunk and talk crazy. Now we just laugh and joke like it ain't no big deal. But if you think back in the day, yeah, it wasn't good at all. Wasn't nothing good about what he did. He didn't encourage us, didn't uplift us. I mean, really, mentally tore us down. Truth be told, you know what I'm saying? And if we was a bunch of weak-minded little boys,
Exactly.
probably would have hurt us.
Exactly. That's what I'm talking about.
We always said, "Oh, his ass old drunk. We ain't listening to that piss head."
Right. See, some people have a way of dealing with it. Not everybody. But that don't make them a bad person. That's why I always say to people, let's slow down. Let's listen. Let's slow down and listen to where this person is coming from, because we might need to give them a little bit of empathy and a little bit of compassion, because we just don't know what they've been through, instead of just being dismissive to them, And it's something that women and men actually go through. It's just not a woman thing. It's just not a man thing. It's just real. And that's all I was saying. And you don't necessarily, DP, throw that person away. Because like I said, sometimes these things are not even revealed until you're in relationship.
Oh, that's different. But first date, they're running in the Victim Olympics, crying about the white man, and it.
Oh, you ain't doing that. Ain't nobody doing that. We're not doing that. You're right. No, I'm not even. We don't even have to we don't have a problem with the white man, not right here. So I'm not talking like that. Aaron, what you got to add to this situation, sir?
Oh, I was listening in, as far as, stipulations and things like that. I don't negotiate with terrorists. So there will be no stipulations that I would negotiate with. But definitely a woman should have her standards. But I agree with you. I think you actually elocuted it that way, when a woman should have her standards. But if she has a stipulation, you shouldn't even deal with her, because it actually takes away from your power. Because you empower her.
Who's the terrorist? Who's the terrorist, man?
Who the terrorist? You said women are terrorists.
Is that one of the YouTube flag words?
I think that's one. Hey. Aaron, I think that's a talking point. No, hey. We all know what you're trying to say. No, when you're setting up.
Is that a YouTube flagged word?
I don't think so.
It could be.
I don't know.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Oh, continue.
Come on, y'all, come on.
When you're setting a foundation for marriage, you do not need. It needs to be on the man's plan. I agree with that. Women, I hope y'all understand that if a man has a plan and he's willing to include you in it, it's for the best for the both of you. But that does not make you dumb. That doesn't make you less. It doesn't mean that you can't have a college degree. It's just you don't need to have one. It doesn't mean you can't make money. It just says that you don't have to have your money. I just gave an example. And if y'all think I'm lying, yeah, I'm flying. I lost $80,000 for at least 3 years in a row. I'm not talking about 180. I'm talking about 80 and 3, $240,000 over a 3-year period of time. And I had no idea what I did with the money.
Question. When the women are talking about the men, it's
bless your heart.
Oh, with the men and the money is this. If a dude is making $51,000 a year, he's probably not saying, I'm looking for a woman, I'm gonna pay all the bills and I want a housewife.
Right.
If he's making $51,000 a month, he's probably doesn't care about your money. So there's kind of some levels to it.
Well, no, I didn't make it. Listen, I said his plan. I didn't say
I was just referring more to the chat about.
No. Remember, yeah. What I'm saying is, go ahead, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm gonna shut up.
You okay? No, I just wanted to add in because I heard you guys talking earlier as far as women are not on social media, and what I like to do is I like to tie it back into the times. We're in modern times. Most people are modern in general, but we have to tie it into the younger people. These are the ones that are becoming behind us, and those women are on social media. Large majority of them.
Oh no, we're talking about the good women, the women you want to make your wife.
Yes, but that's only for us millennials that are in the latter of our age of those millennials. The people that are closer to those younger, they are not able to escape social media. It's just not. It's just extremely rare for you to do. Most times you try to sign on anything, they want you to sign into a social media just to get into an app.
I got you.
They are like interconnected that way. So the odds of you finding a lot of women that are not connected to social media is extremely rare. But then also, even men that make a lot of money that I know that are young, they want 50-50. They see the one thing we never talked about is that the women that used to say, my grandmother couldn't go nowhere because she had to rely on grandpa when he was cheating and because he made all the money. They forgot that the men got information too. And the information that the men got was she gonna have to start paying her way if she could just take half your stuff. And so we never actually talk about that other side because we only talk about the women's perspective. But the younger men, even the ones making a lot of money, they don't want to hear that, oh, yeah, pay for everything. They don't believe that. So,
well, no, listen, they don't have to pay for everything. Nobody's saying that. But what we're saying is you make a plan. And whatever the plan is, you want the woman to do, you do. She does it. But it's still the man's plan. It's still the man's plan. If a woman
you work out of one pot, that won't be a problem.
Exactly.
It won't be no 50-50.
But listen, also, if the man is requiring too much of the woman, he's gonna have all types of problems because that's not a role of a woman. That's not a role of a wife. So he has to really identify with what he wants. Yeah. It's up to both parties. It all depends on what you want.
Stop. Well, as Aaron calls them terrorists, stop messing with them. Negotiate with these terrorists. Don't deal with them. Move on.
And
Aaron, let me ask you a question. Are you saying that the younger generation is wanting their future mates to pay 50-50 in expenses?
Yes. Even if they're making I'm telling the younger generation, because they've been told, because you're talking about
gonna be on the lease.
Listen, they've been told that women are equal, and unless they get re-indoctrinated to the viewpoint, they are operating as such. And so what we're finding out is that a lot of women going through university, you could just actually look at a lot of the feminist views come from higher education. That's where a lot of these views come from. So a lot of these men that are in university are experiencing these women, these type of women, and they're adjusting because they still want women. So they have to kind of adjust in a weird way, which we don't recommend. They should be standing on their own, but they're young, they're impressionable, creating their own pathway sometimes, some of them without fathers. They don't have that perspective, so they have to recreate on the dime. I'm telling you, they are modern, most people are, and they do not want a woman to have the opportunity to be able to take half their stuff. They want her with skin in the game. So that's why when you hear a lot of young women saying, I need to have some, there's a lot of truth to that. A lot of guys are saying, no, you need to do something. You need to make money. Even
if you go 50-50, though, all right, even if you go 50-50 and y'all get married, she still could take half of your stuff. Any marital assets she's entitled to. It doesn't matter if you go 80-20, one pot, or 50-50. If you get married to her, she's entitled to half your stuff anyway that y'all accumulate together. So what's the shit?
I would just say young folks
don't get married. If you
got young folks, because that takes totally away the concept of marriage, because the concept of marriage is becoming one. And what they seem like they want are roommates. And ladies, I'm telling you now, younger women, if you meet a man and he wants you to go half, don't marry him. Get you an older man that will take care of you, but you will take care of him too. So you all can be you can all be in your roles in a marriage. Now, if a man doesn't want a woman to take care of him emotionally, physically, then hey, okay, he don't want to be married. But I'm talking about a real marriage. I'm talking about the marriage that is built on principle.
I partially disagree.
Well, you can.
Hold on.
Go ahead, Aaron. Go ahead.
Hold on. We got to be honest. I would agree with the assertions y'all making, but younger people typically date younger people. Let's just be honest. 21-year-olds are dealing with 22-year-olds. Now, they may learn that they should deal with an older man, but they are not looking at it because they are not women of the past. They look at men, they want them fine. They got a lot of stipulations. And they typically, one thing, they typically are afraid for their husband to die before they die. So they want somebody 5 years within I'm telling you, they want somebody 5 years within their range. You talking about somebody
in their 20s, they're not looking to get married anyway. They just
hey, people in their 40s aren't looking to get married either. What's your point?
You might be right.
Oh, I thought young women do want to get married. I'm getting false information.
You see,
well, listen,
Lord Harley reflects that on us.
I thought young women wanted older men. I've always wanted an older man. So and that's y'all telling me the modern woman now that's young doesn't want an older man. Older men always was the winner with younger women, but you're saying that's not the case because of the time we're in now, or they just don't like the older man? What are you saying?
More to it than that. People usually date what they're around, and they date a version of what they are. Meaning, just like you don't see that as, how to explain it. The men that you see dating outside the race, is usually a different type of man than the ones that date inside the race, because these are different people. Or a person women who date dudes in college is probably because they were in college when they met the guy. You get what I'm saying? So people date with their environment, usually within their environment. But the one difference is women who are younger, women now are more thinking about today than they are tomorrow. That's a generational, part of it is a generational difference. They have less patience. They have more options, though most of those options are fake options. And they're taught to go and keep running around in circles in these options. That's what they're doing.
So, you know what? It just sounds like then it's going to be tough. We're going to have a tough time because they're not being, and again, I don't know, I'm not going to blame anything on YouTube particularly, but they're not giving good examples of marriage, because marriage is one where you take care of each other. And then who was this? M. Mills says men don't want women that are totally financially dependent on them. And what I think what she's saying, I think I can agree with that. A woman, just because you get married don't mean, like I say, that you don't have to have money, or that you can't have money, or that you don't, be smart. But guess what? It all goes to one pot. Now, when it all comes to one pot, do I not have anything anymore? I mean, is it still mine? I'm gonna put it in one pot. How is that measured? See, I'm willing to put, and I know what you're saying, Aaron. Not many women are willing to put all their money in one pot. But see, in order for this thing to truly work, I almost think that these type of things are required, because you can't. If you're a woman and you making 50,000 and your husband making 300,000 and he wants you to go half financially with him, what is that? That's not. What's that?
They're not getting those type of men.
Oh.
Like
Okay.
they're not, women are not getting these $300,000 men and 250 and 180. They're not really getting them. There's a small amount and they all kind of align together. Most people are getting what we know most people are getting. Like let's be honest. But what I'm saying is younger people, especially younger women who are very popular, who the eyes, the attention that they used to get when they're younger, they don't want to give it up. They don't. And
okay, do you know why? Do you know why?
Dudes are broke though. You talking about some broke ass dudes who crying about doing 50-50. You ought to be glad to be put in one pot when your ass is broke as you are.
That's what I say.
Shit.
That's what I
think most dudes aren't making this type of money.
Mom's basement, and you talking about you want to go 50-50?
You're missing the mentality.
Well.
You're missing the mentality. What I'm trying to explain.
I understand what you're saying. You talking about a broke man mentality, though.
Well,
that's a broke ass man mentality.
That's fine. I'm not.
I mean, but let me tell you this, Aaron. If I'm paying for everything, that means I could kick your ass out any given time because it's mine. I'm taking care of everything.
What's the point, though?
I don't need your money. So when it's time for you to go, it's time for you to go.
But
your name ain't gonna be on a lease.
What's the point of that, though?
On any car note. It's not.
Yeah, I don't understand why are you taking that position?
Yeah, now you're competing against your spouse for what?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense, Hank. What you saying? Did we miss something?
I'm talking. He's not talking about marriage, right, Aaron?
Oh.
You're not talking about marriage.
I'm talking about marriage. What's the point of competing with your spouse?
Aaron's not talking about marriage.
Well, I'm trying to let you know, when we have these conversations, I'm thinking about younger people. Because
they're not talking about marriage. Now, marriage is something totally different.
That used to be the phrase we used to run by, right? Children are the future. And these younger kids, they are seeing women forcefully as their equal. So they're saying, I make money, so you should make money. I do this, you should do. And we understand that that's not how it technically is supposed to align, but I'm telling you, that's how they think based upon the information that they've been given.
Right.
So are you talking about marriage, Aaron? So I can clarify. You're not talking about marriage, are you?
Well, what do you mean by that question? I'm not. Okay, so what I'm saying is, okay. Yes, we're talking about younger people getting married, which we know they don't.
50-50. So you gonna come home with a grocery bill, say your wife that spent $150. Man, I need 75 from you, woman. You owe me 75 goddamn dollars out of this $150 grocery bill I just spent. Really, dog? Is that how they gonna roll?
No, it doesn't work like so. How it works?
It's 50-50.
No, but I'm saying typically how it works is they have a shopping budget. Well, not everybody's good at budget, but they have a shopping budget, and they're saying, "Hey, this is what we're buying this month. This is going to come from this shop." Like they have tons of accounts. Trust me, I see tons of accounts that are for, grocery account, like et cetera, expenses. People segregate their accounts, but they keep their own accounts because younger women want to be empowered and they believe money is power. You cannot tell me that's not what younger women think. Listen to the music. I got my own bag.
And you're talking about married individuals.
I'm literally talking about younger people that are looking to get married. We're not necessarily.
That's what I'm talking about. So he's not talking about marriage. So again, what I said, I'm gonna pay for everything. I'm gonna everything. I'm gonna pay for it. Because like I said, as soon as you get out of line, I'll put your ass out. Because you ain't entitled to nothing in here. Aaron's not talking about marriage. Now, when he's talking about marriage, that's something totally different.
No, but Hank, but what I'm tying into what you're saying. When your women hear you will put me out, they're hearing I'm gonna get my own money, so you can't.
Get your broke ass out.
That's why I'm telling you. That's the
get your broke ass, baby. If you're not willing to look, if we're gonna get married, we're gonna put this one pot. And if you're not in agreement, then I will leave your ass at a restaurant and I will move on to the next woman who's gonna be appreciative and grateful and is gonna get blessed with my goddamn last name. But
so what Aaron is saying, that in a lot of times marriage looks just like that situation for them preparing to be married. Well, that's why they're trying.
A woman anyway. We're not living in the same residence anyway.
We're talking about unmarriable people.
We're not in the same residence.
Wait, but you got to understand though. You got to understand the message that that's been put out there. The feminist women want to take care of themselves. They don't push marriage. So, and then there's maybe not any good examples of it. So he's right in that aspect, but that's a terrible thought process or mindset for marriage. It is not.
So I think Ace Butterfly asked me a question. They said, yeah, that's the one. I can't answer why a woman would want to marry somebody that's 20 years older. That's their decision making. But I'm telling you in general, if you just do the numbers, most people have a negative net worth until they're in their 30s. So if you're dating somebody that's in their 20s or close aligned to marry somebody, if you want to be married and not just sleeping around with guys because you enjoy the attention and you know your body is right and you hot girl summer and all the attention you're going to ever get is primarily going to be your early 30s and 20s, then you probably are not going to align with said men. But if you want a husband that can provide for you, he's going to have to be a decent amount older than you in general. Not all cases. There are some young guys that are really, really successful. That is extremely rare, and I don't recommend you operate under that thinking process. You're going to have to go older, and yes, they're going to die before you. So you're going to have to live out your years with the time that you got with your husband. That's life.
More than likely, they will die before you. More than likely, they will die before you. Right.
This is the thing I have to always explain to women, right? Because this is what they fight me about. You don't want to lose at nothing. You want to win in every box. There's a box of winning with looks, box of winning with money, height. Your husband's going to die before you, and that's the sacrifice you take for taking the many years that he did survive taking care of you. You don't get to win in everything. You have to lose. Men understand they're going to lose.
All right, you get a man that's the same age as he could still die before you. Doesn't matter. Men normally die before women regardless.
No, he's just making a point that if a man is 20 years your senior, more than likely he will pass away before you.
Okay. But even if he's the same age,
yes,
more likely
this is the very thing I talk about. Anyway. This is the very thing I talk about the conversations of the selfish. There's a woman on one side, I want, and there's a man saying, well, shoot, you ain't going to, man, I'm about to get to buy, blah, 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 blah. That's not a marriage. It never will.
No, it's not. No, I established that a long time ago. Maybe that is the conditions that people live in, but that is not what I would call a marriage. Yeah, and it's a sad situation because I think men and women deserve to experience a real marriage. But what you're talking about, Aaron, is almost like a breeding of chaos. It almost breeds chaos because nobody's going to do enough. I could see the man sitting back saying you're not doing enough, and I could see, like you just said, the woman sitting back not being satisfied.
Right. I see it. These two people don't like each other. They don't.
No, it's not that, Panderson. It's not that. It's we're
I get what you're saying. I'm putting the whole picture together.
I get you. We've been designed for individuality. We've been told everybody's unique and everybody's special. No, they not. You ain't gonna hear me repeat that crap. But we are telling people these things so people operate in individuality and selfishness because that's narrative been pushed throughout their life. You got to do what's best for you. You got to chase your dreams. Like they are not told you need to sacrifice. You need to do something for more people. The people that do that tend to be herded as a leader. You go back and look at history, those people that sacrifice themselves for other people, they tend to got accolades. They tend to be revered in a lot of ways. We are far removed from group thinking and caring about community. We are individual people in every race.
Listen, Aaron, I can almost agree to that. I can agree to what you're saying a bit. But last night I was on a panel and it was over 88 years of marriage or married women on that panel. Over 88 years of happily married women on that panel who have children who are at marrying ages, meaning from 25, I think, to 34. And they all want to be married. And they all want the traditional, per se, concept of a man and a woman.
Yeah,
88 years of marriage, y'all.
They're gone though. We can't marry them. Somebody.
No.
They're gone.
SB, you're right about what you're saying. They're stating that. Well, the women. I saw a little bit of the panel you're on. Of course, you did an amazing job. But of course, those women. I think a lot of them did have husbands stay at home. I think a couple of them that when I saw you on that, I don't know if we're talking about the same one, but I think it's the panel with the women and they talked. Yeah. So yeah, they have husbands. They've kind of talked about what they've done. Some of the, I think the one girl or two of them talked about actually learning that they needed to date older and realized they had to re-strategize if they wanted marriage and be so a lot of that comes into play. But most women, younger women, you cannot tell me that that's that information that you're getting.
No, and I would agree to that, but that's why we're putting it out here. I do think a lot. Huh?
I said maybe they're gonna have to learn the hard way. Maybe
no, I don't. I would say if that's what you want.
Everybody's not gonna make it.
I would only recommend marriage to some woman that tells me that's what they want. If a woman says no, I want to have my own, like this woman who started with this video. If she wants to be a single woman like that, she is keeping women single. Let her do that. But let's read this super chat before we go on. That one salary thing. Okay. Only works for rich folks. Most folks not trying to live in a studio apartment in the hood because they rely on his $45,000 income. But if they both make 45, that's 90. That is a 1-bedroom apartment. Well, let me tell you something. A man in this time and day and time, if he only makes $45,000 and he wants to have a wife, I would say to him, he may not be ready for one. But if he's ready to have a wife, then that woman that he marries needs to be his equivalent. And she needs to be able to live in that 1-bedroom studio apartment or wherever he's living. She needs to be there with him. And if she cannot, then that wouldn't be the person that he needs to marry. But you get the money line.
Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline. Money line, I'ma run it every time. Give me mine, going up, need no decline.
Yeah.
My man need to up his game then if he's only making 45.
I mean, but you know what? But that's a real thing. That's a real thing.
No,
Hank,
it doesn't work like that. You cannot make people make more money. It doesn't work like that.
No, nobody said you can go get a second job.
No,
get a second husband. Not even that. I get what Aaron's saying. I'll be back.
No, he doesn't have to. No, Aaron. Aaron is right. You can't make somebody make more money, but that's not even the problem. If he wants a wife, he needs to.
He can hopefully have some giddy up about him wanting to maybe. Man, I'm only making 45. I'm trying to do better. I'm not trying to live in the hood. So if I got to get a better first job or get a second job, then I need to get out there and hustle.
He may be, but until. He might, but if he got a woman, she needs to live in those parameters with him until he can do better. I'm not saying she can't make no money though. I'm not saying she can't make no money. I'm just saying we don't need to rely on her making because it just doesn't make sense to do so. She got to be in his parameters.
So one thing we don't understand when we give this information to young men specifically, y'all need to make more money or don't deal with women until you're in a position. We tend to tell them that. The one thing we forget to tell women is they shouldn't be dealing with these people if they can't afford them. But you know what a woman's going to do? Whatever the hell she wants to do. And they tend to deal with, because we also don't ever say this. A lot of women don't deserve to get good guys. So they're going to take whatever loser guys with the freedoms that come with America and do what losers do. Because women are losers too.
Okay, but what did you just hear me say?
Well, I think what you said was accurate.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if you heard.
No, I'm seconding that. You're absolutely. She needs to live on the man she chooses, or
Right.
that accepts the plea on his. I agree with you 100%. That's the right mindset. But we both know what women say is this: we got to level up. You know what I'm saying? Like, he get together with me, I multiply everything. Okay, well, eventually, but it don't start week 1. It don't start week 2.
Yeah, but I don't need no woman to tell me I need to level up. I'm gonna do it myself. I never needed a woman to tell me I need to level up though.
Hank, let me explain like this. Okay, you're right. Those men that have a mindset like that they separate themselves from other men. Okay, so they tend to ascend financially when they get in that mindset over time, compound interest, like just an intelligent person financially. Yes, they will do well. Most people are not designed that way, and they don't have those desires to be. So we can't move everybody to operate the same way the small percentage, the 10% of society operates. That's not going to work. It's not even actually sustainable in the way society is ran now. It's not even sustainable. So that's not a mindset that most people are going to have. And if we're telling we want most people to be married, we have to give information that most people can actually utilize. And telling more people that they should get out and hustle, make more money sounds good. So we'll help those people, but the large majority of people are not going to do that. You can just take history and just extrapolate the data.
Yeah, but that's what we should be encouraging. I shouldn't be encouraging this man to go out and find the right woman. I should be encouraging this man to do himself better for himself. The hell with that woman.
But you know what? We should also be incentivizing marriages and not single motherhood.
I agree. I don't.
And that would help.
A baby mama is not a badge of honor.
That would help a lot of situations, but we're not doing that either because a lot of people, they don't look at marriage as grace. They don't look at it that way. They look at it differently. I don't know why, because you're always getting together with one another, but you don't see it as what it should be. But AL, thank you so much for your $5 super chat. That means most folks shouldn't marry. That's the average. I didn't say they shouldn't marry. I said they should live in the parameters of what the man can pay for. That's all I'm saying. And guess what, CC, you are exactly right. CC says that's kind of like struggle love. I believe in struggle love. Because that doesn't take away from a man. It doesn't take away from a man and actually build character in a woman. I see nothing wrong with it. Because guess what? When you make it, you got it together. Ain't nobody trying to take nothing from nobody else. After 10 years, ain't nobody saying, I'm leaving this woman when I'm taking my stuff. Because guess what? We got it together. How about that?
So, Hank, I want to answer your question really quick, because, I haven't been around, with you guys. So I missed you guys. I really have. Hank, the reason why that people don't tend to do better and make smarter choices because we've alleviated the punishment. And the alleviation of punishments have gone on the women's alleviation. We have created systems that have allowed them to be less vulnerable and to be less impacted. If women knew they own the streets, unless they get a good, solid man, they operate differently. But if women know they have a security blanket, they're going to operate knowing that, hey, if worse come to worse, this is what the minimum of my life would be. And this is what we like. Even Jay Prince, he talks about. This is what he means by a man has a baby and he's struggling. There is no successful man that does not pay child support. Remember that. There is no successful man that does not pay child support. They're going to garnish his wages. They're going to somehow extract that money from that successful man. So most of the men that people complain about don't pay child support, don't take care of his kids, are not doing well in life. It's not like they live in an amazing life and sad child has just not been taken care of. Just look at the numbers. Those men are not doing very well. And the ones that are doing well financially but don't want to be there are actually giving money to, increase the lifestyle that a child could have, whether that's in lieu of a father, but they're not living a great life and not paying child support. That stuff is really not happening unless you're talking about drug dealers, people with no job. But women have a security blanket because if you have a child as a young woman, the government says, here go this 1-bedroom apartment. And if you mess up again, we'll give you a 2-bedroom apartment. Oh, go ahead and mess up again. We give you 3-bedroom. You got a newborn, you can't be on the streets. And I'm telling you this from experience. So like you said, you don't want to hear all this theory. This is from experience.
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you some more experiences. And this might not be everywhere. The state that I live in, they take care of the men just the same. I know a lot of men. I told y'all, I've given y'all example. Yeah, the men got Section 8 housing or
Yeah.
the ship. Am I saying that right? The ship program. I could be saying it wrong. Ship or skip or.
Wait, hold on. When does it prioritize a man? Does he have to have custody of a child to get prioritized?
No, it's based on it's based on probably, listen to this, it's based on probably a disability and how much income that they actually can bring in. But men are taking care, a lot of men, and it's too, not younger men so much. Younger men have to typically be more so found to be of some mental illness, but still functional. They're taken care of too. In the state that I live in, we tend to take care of everybody. We do. And I'm in
California, so y'all know.
Yeah, I can imagine California taking care of them. But where I live, we take care of everybody. Now, sometimes it comes to people telling lies or what have you. But still, in my state, they take care of the mental ill but functioning. They take care of the man who may have custody of his kids. They take care of everybody. And they also, let me tell you something, Jay Prince, how you doing?
Pretty good. How are you, security boss?
I'm doing good. I want to say this because I never get a chance to say this. I have worked with child support enforcement for a very long time. I never get a chance to tell everybody this because I pay child support for a lot of men. I have paid the lowest child support judgment that I've had was $4. A man had to pay $4 a month. And I fussed with child support because they would not accept $24 for me. They said, no, you got to pay it $4 per month. You cannot send 6 months worth. This is how it's got to go. So I've been paying child support. And then I even had listen, when the orders come in, it's not the orders at first. At first they send me a note saying, how much does this man make? And as soon as I get that notice, I'm calling, what can be done? And I got to tell y'all this because see, people don't believe this. And I go tell that young man, hey, look, I need you to go down and make some arrangements right now. I need you to go talk this person, do some modifications. I need you to do this. The ones that listen, it works out perfectly. The ones that don't listen, about 6 months later, I get those papers and the papers say, start taking the money. And they might work another month or two, then they quit the job. Now, I give them the heads up. I set it up for them. I need you to talk to this person. And I have even went to one young man and I said, listen, this is what I found out. You can make an arrangement on your child support. Did y'all know that? You can call down there and tell them, I know I'm behind, but what if I give you $25 a week? Will you allow me to work and not put me in jail? Guess what they'll say? Let me see. Yeah, as long as you're communicating and doing what you say you're gonna do. How about that?
I think I've actually experienced this stuff. And when I was on child support, when I first learned about my kids and stuff, they weren't going for none of that. They sent me a letter. I had to go in front of the judge and write all my bills and stuff down and what I'm paying out of a month, how much I was making. And guess what? They took off $4. And at the time I wasn't making nothing. So
wait a minute, say it again. They took out how much?
They took off like all the money out, all the bills that I was paying. I couldn't afford the child support. They dropped my child support down $4.
To $4.
They took $4 off my payment.
Oh, they reduced it $4. I got
you. Yeah, they reduced it $4.
Well, let me tell you, Jay Prince. Let me tell you something, Jay Prince. And we're not going to talk about that too much because I don't want to, But I'm just saying to you that a lot of times I realize that these issues are not being dealt with. I know a lot of times that men do not want to deal with these issues. Sometimes it's just bad. Sometimes the court system just drag men. We're talking about different states and all of that, and I can't speak on that. But I happen to know in my state, they will work the hell out with you. All you got to do is show up or make the phone calls. Now, that ain't everywhere. I agree with that, and I know that. I mean, somebody gives an example the other day about You just tell them that if a woman just tell the courts that you the baby daddy, then you got to pay for it. That's crazy. I don't know all things, but I'm just telling you. The one thing I do know that's most important is walk in there and talk to somebody. Them caseworkers don't belong to the mamas, even though it may seem that way. They don't. And if they do act too far to the left, start documenting this stuff, taking notes. They work for the court system, and you men, women, whoever, y'all deserve the right amount of treatment. If they don't do you right, go get you a lawyer and sue their asses. Why not? They mistreat you, and they not
rules for different states. You just got to know the laws in your state. You got to educate yourself with the laws in each state, man.
Well, you got to ask questions, though. You got to. It ain't even about the laws. It's not even about the laws. If a person that works for the court system is not giving you the just due, then that person no longer needs to work for the court system. You need to take documentation, date and time on what actually happened, and you need to go find you a lawyer, and they will work for you.
They only
situation.
The people that's in the court system, they only doing what they allowed to do, or what they told from their higher superiors on what to do in that situation. So they can't just make up rules and on their own and say, okay, we're gonna dog him out, or we're gonna do this. No, that stuff was passed down from their higher ups.
So you saying
it's not up to the workers' discretion on how badly they want to treat you. That stuff is in the law.
You saying the higher ups are telling the caseworkers that when this black man come in here, I need you to screw him up, just screw him, like just take advantage of him.
We want to make it seem like we want to make it seem like that they don't operate off the color and race, and
no, we don't know. We're asking questions.
We seem to think because it's 2022 and everybody nice and racism is over with, and it's a new day and age.
White folks get drugged and child support.
No, that's not what we're saying. We're saying
white people get dogged in child support court too. It ain't just a black thing.
No, what we're saying, if it happens to you, document it. Why would you just walk away with?
And you better get you a lawyer. Get you a female lawyer.
You can't just
get you a female lawyer. That's what I did. I got me a female lawyer, and I got child support from my daughter's mother. I got it for 6 years.
Hank.
Yeah.
Everybody does not have the financial ability to have these lawyers.
Here we go. Then dog, you need to stop making excuses. If you got to get a second goddamn job to pay for that lawyer, you do what you got to do. I promise you. If you love your kids, you'll do that. If you want to get your custody, if you want to get your visitation, if you want to get your money right, you'll do what you have to do for your kids. I question if you love your kids, if you're going to sit there and let that be your excuse. I ain't got enough goddamn money. Then cut off every goddamn thing in your apartment, donate your car, sell it, do what you got to do to get that money. Stop making goddamn excuses. You're a man. At least I think you are. And if you ain't no goddamn man, then go sit down with the women and pee. If you ain't no man, then go sit down.
I'm going to need for y'all to stop this man stuff. Because first off, man, one of us really know what a man is and what a man's job is.
Chris, I ain't got nothing to do with you, because if you don't know what a man is, you need to go down to the Supreme Court and try to figure that out.
Just labeling it, you a man, that you basically gaslight men's struggles and bad experiences, and we want to blame it on, you a man. You a man, but you're not no robot. You're not no god. You're a human just like everybody else.
You need a man up then, Jay Prince.
What do you mean by man up?
You on this damn YouTube crying and complicit a man. If you a man, stand up and act like a man. Don't be
my God.
You crying about girls, you crying about women, you crying about child support, you blaming the white man. The hell with the white man. The white man ain't gonna give you shit. As much as you cry, the white man don't give a damn about your black ass.
But that don't mean we gotta always continue. Well, really being a man, how long? What's really being a man is not to accept motherfuckers doing you wrong. You're supposed to stand up, grab your balls, and stand up and fight against that. What you said is to be a coward like a woman and accept it. What you trying to tell us to stand up and accept you to stand up and accept the bullshit that they doing to us, but not what's really a man. If you want to go with that man route, the man will stand up and fight against that, get that system took the fuck down.
What did
That's what a man would do.
Jay Prince, what did I just sit there and say? I told you to get you a
You
female
didn't say
lawyer.
nothing. You haven't been coming up with nothing.
Hold on, Jay. I listened to what you had to say. Give me a minute. I listened to what you said. Ern said not all people can afford lawyers, right? Ain't that what you said, Ern? I said do what you got to do to get a lawyer. You need to go get you a lawyer, a female lawyer, again, a female lawyer, because they can go in there and play that female role on them, and it works. Dog,
It might work. It might work every blue moon. You act like if we go get a female, if all the men go get a female lawyer, you talking as if that that's gonna make it. It's automatically guaranteed that this female lawyer gonna get you out this bullshit.
It's better than you going there by yourself.
I understand that going there by yourself, but why would you pay $10,000 just to get told no?
Dog, what are you gonna get told no on?
I'm just saying, like, if you going in there, let's say you want your kids, just because you gonna pay a lawyer.
Look at Jay. It depends on what you're trying to do, buddy. It depends on what you're trying to do. Now, are you trying to get custody of your kids?
Lead attorney works in this field, and he see this on a daily basis. And he said men be paying all of this money and still go home with nothing.
It depends on what you're trying to do.
And why we gotta operate? It depends on. That's not being a man. Man makes shit happen.
That's the system, right? You got to work within the system. About this
man stuff, y'all like to boast and talk about this man stuff like you got some type of power. You gonna fold just like the rest of these guys when them people get at you. So stop with this man stuff, because let's be honest, black men in America is considered a woman. If we really want to be honest,
I don't know what man you talking about.
We get treated like we get treated.
You need to say your own, buddy.
It's so bad. It's so bad. The only protection that black man has in America is if we turn to the LBG. That's the only protection we got.
Oh, you're on your own, buddy.
And that's it.
I'm not trying to be that. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like, you act like men. Come on now, You want us to? How long we been standing up? How long we been a man?
I'm just saying.
How long have we been a man and still it's still the same? We shouldn't be arguing and complaining about the same shit that was vented 100 years ago.
No, I'm not complaining. I'm not
all this laying down on our knees ain't doing shit for us.
Let me tell you this. I'm not dealing with issues what you're talking about. I don't have women issues. I don't have no problem with a woman submitting to me. I don't have a problem with
I don't have no problem with a woman submitting to me, but it is.
I'm not dealing with baby mama shit.
The thing is, you know why a lot of us black men is messed up? I'm about to tell all the way the truth. The reason why a lot of us black men is in the position that we in now, for one, it wasn't no surprise that they made us get raised by women. Women taught us men how to operate how a woman will under power, being submissive, being a follower, being, whatever. We follow, we is no different from a woman. We on our backs getting fucked just like women, and we just chicks with dicks.
I'm gonna say it again. I don't understand what you're talking about.
If you want to break it down,
let me know when you finish.
I can't relate to that, Jay.
What I'm saying, I'm not saying literally
like that.
I'm not saying literally.
You're not a man. You what we call a homosexual.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying anytime another man,
back, that's what you are.
Okay,
don't do that, Jay. Now, if that's what you are, then that's your business.
Can I come and tell you? What I mean by is another man could come in Hink's house and tell Hink that, nigga, I'm only gonna give you 1 day to see your motherfucking kid. You ain't gonna do shit about it.
No, I don't have them problems, dog.
I'm just saying.
Let me tell you. You keep saying a man could do it.
Look how they treat us.
Listen, hold on, listen, Jay. Listen. Why don't you have a conversation with the mother of your child? Then you don't have to worry about that.
You making this personal. I'm saying in general.
I'm talking to any man. Any man could have a conversation.
So you mean tell me that they ain't have no conversation with these women? You act like these men just didn't love their kids. So you believe that bullshit when women used to say, "Oh, your daddy just ran and left." All these black fathers just running, leaving their kids.
Jay Prince, I never believed that.
Are you serious? You really believe that shit? What the women was talking about?
You ain't heard my story. You ain't heard my story. When my mother and father separated and got divorced.
I'm sorry for cussing.
Listen, Jay. Listen, Jay. Jay, listen. When my mother and my father got divorced, my mother was one of those type women talking about your dad ain't shit. Talk bad about my father. You know what they end up making me do? It pushed me closer to him. Now, Come to find out, some of the shit she was saying was true. But she should have let me find that out for myself. It should have been her dogging her out to me. Let me tell you, I tell this all the time.
But you know what I found out?
No, listen, Jay. I tell men and women this all the time. Don't dog out the other parents in front of your kids. Don't do it. Because guess what? They're going to have resentment towards the parent who are you dogging out. I promise you. They're going to turn against you. Not the parent you dogging out. They're going to turn against you because they think you just talking like with a jealous tongue. I promise you that's how it's going to go. Don't talk bad about another parent in front of your kids.
Can I say this? When you say half of that stuff is true, and I could probably believe that because half of the stuff that I was told by my daddy was true. Okay, I give you that. But we're not talking about the position that our fathers get put in. These people are not getting put in the same position as the daddies. So when women used to tell us, well, how you just gonna let you supposed to stand there and fight? Since when, woman, mama, you never was put in that situation. You never been. You've been on the safe side of the government. You on the safe side of the government. You never the government never came and took your kids unless you did something wrong. I'm just saying. They never came and took your kids and gave it to the father, gave the father all types of shit and made you fight for your kids.
So listen,
how dare you tell me what I'm supposed to do and when you on the safe side?
Jay Prince, listen to this. You got to get somebody to help you. You got to do it. I mean, that's it. You got to do it. What you're saying.
Me personally, I got my kids security box.
No, listen. Ain't nobody saying nothing about your custody kid, but we talking about, hey, you might need to get in a Zoom meeting with a therapist. Because right now you are awfully angry.
Why I gotta need a therapist though?
Oh, because you don't have to get one. That's your choice. But you need to talk to someone.
I'm just saying, why when I speak? Okay, why when we speak, black men speak about the troubles and the experiences, negative experiences that we go in, we get looked at like we damn near crazy. We need a therapist and all this other stuff. But on the other end, women cries and all this other stuff. They get rewards. Everybody come and pamper them. Everybody get them shit, come and rescue them, and all this other shit. But we can't never.
You telling me you won't get treated like a woman?
We can't even have a conversation without getting told that we damn near crazy.
You want to get pampered and treated like a woman?
We got to move on.
Because Jay Prince, listen, that's not true. We talk about women and their trauma all the time. We're saying this has really affected you. You're having trouble moving forward. If you got custody of your kids, then you've won. Then you need to be sharing your success with other men so they can be in your same position.
I think I got lucky. The reason why I got this much heavy, why I'm so heavy about this topic, because yes, true. I finally, out of years, I finally got out that rut with my kids, but men is going through this stuff every fucking day, every single day. My future sons, nephews gonna go through the same shit.
Okay, so guess what, Jay Prince? You're exactly right.
About myself.
Okay, but listen, Jay Prince, you're exactly right. And we're putting out, I'm gonna say we, I'm not gonna say we, I'm gonna say me. I'm giving examples all the time on how men can protect themselves. Have you ever shared any one of those examples with your nephews?
What, not having sex, get advice said to me or wear a condom?
What about marriage? What about being selective? What about being selective?
I think today's time, security boss, when we speak about marriage, the way people are conditioning right now, especially our women, men don't want to marry a woman that's act like a man. They just a man with a vagina. That's all he is.
What about men who act like women?
So that goes to the selective. That goes to the selective part, the selection. So that means they're picking the wrong women to have babies by. Though you're saying they can have babies by these men, but they can't marry these men. Is that what you're saying?
The reason why us men, it's hard to find these women to act completely right, because these women know they got an ace of the spade when they don't want to have to follow that black man leadership. When I look at all other cultures, women don't behave. It's more marriageable women in other cultures than it is the black race. These women be talking shit. Women are supposed to talk back to their man and even compare themselves to the man, but yet they want to be equal to a man. You should never want to be equal to a man.
Do you have that as an example for your life? Do you have that for an example for your life? What you just said. Has that ever been your experience?
Yes, women thinking they want to compete with men.
No, wait a minute, hold on. How were you speaking to them?
What you mean?
You know what I mean? You know how strong you come in. You come in very strong all the time. And I told you, you got to be the example for
At
what you want.
first, no, like I said on the panel yesterday,
Okay.
women
I can't.
create. When I'm gonna tell you how. I'm gonna tell you. Let me
I
explain
didn't hear
what I
you,
mean
Jay
by
Prince.
that.
So
Women
say it again.
created us bad boys. The reason why I say women,
You fading out.
I said women created us bad
No.
boys. You
No,
can hear me
listen what
now?
I'm saying. You keep
Can you
going
hear me
in and
now?
out, but a woman didn't make you be bad. You choose your behavior. Come on now, Jay. You choose your behavior.
Can you hear me?
I
Can you hear
can.
me,
Go
security
ahead.
boss? Okay, when I say women created bad
Okay.
boys, it's because like when I first started off dating, I thought was being nice and super nice and respectful, a gentleman, all this other stuff was gonna get me in with the doors. I quickly realized that wasn't it. These women wanted the shit talking and the aggressiveness, the roughness. They didn't want all that. They didn't want all that gentle stuff like they did back in the days.
But
They
But that's
Jay,
wanted
you know,
these
the
you
kind of
find a
rough
woman
woman.
that
necks.
does want these
But
things.
that was the woman. That was the type of woman that was in your environment,
Come
Jay.
on,
There were a lot of other. There are a lot of other women out there, but you yourself got to calm down before you get a woman to respect what you're saying and actually listen to you and be respectable for you, because you come off real strong. And then if they say something that ticks you off, then you go to the left. How are you wanting a woman to come on now? You got to be the example, brother.
I do that because I'm doing that because I'm fed up with have to be the woman in a relationship
Okay,
and
so
she
that
be the
goes
man.
back to what Hink is saying. You need to go talk to somebody, because that's a wrong way. We got to get your mindset back on being who you're supposed to be.
No, I know, but however, what I'm saying is, security boys, nowadays these women they just want a man they want a physical strong man, but act like a simp, but paying the bills. That's it. They want you to do the man stuff, but when it comes down to you being a
Nice.
man, when it goes against what they believe in, they want you to be submissive to them.
Okay, so
Then
Jay Prince,
you
this should
find
be
a woman that's gonna fall within your purpose, man.
well, this
You
should be real. Yeah, it should be real
moving,
simple for
man.
you. It should be real simple. Then you shouldn't be dating anyone until you get to a place where you see and feel the woman that you fits you. It should be real simple. You shouldn't even be entertaining a woman unless she can present herself to you the way that you just spoke a moment ago.
And we also need our older women to teach these younger women how to treat a man, because on the other end, we was all men. All us men was taught how to treat women from older men in the community. You don't do this. You don't hit a woman. You turn. You walk away. You do this. You be a gentleman to her. You open a car door. You put a woman before you, and all this other bullshit that don't even make sense to me. But we followed it because. But I never once seen older women schooling young women how to respect and treat men. You know what they used to teach these younger women? Girl, you don't have to put up that shit and go get your own education.
Jay
Go
Prince,
get your education. You don't need no nigga. Them people gonna help you when if it get too bad. Them people gonna help you. So they taught these young girls to work against us.
JP,
I gotta tell you, you gotta change your environment.
These some trash ass whores you messing with.
Yeah, they trashy. You gotta change your environment, Jay Prince. You really do. And I think you're trying to do
I
that.
don't think it's so much. We can't keep blaming on.
Say it again.
I'm not the. When I get on this panel, it's men from all different cities, all different countries, complaining about the exact same thing that I'm saying.
And I would tell them the exact.
So it's not an anecdotal.
I would tell them the same thing too, because there's a lot of women out there that don't act like that. Ain't no woman. There's many women out there that not calling men bees and fighting them and stuff like that. That's an aggressive woman that I don't know what kind of. I've seen that. Now listen, I'm not saying that woman don't exist. I'm saying that's not the woman you need to be trying to entertain for your dating process or someone to marry. That's all I'm saying. I know there's women out there that's mean as hell. I get it. I get it.
I'm saying they don't have to call you a B or want to fight you. It's the way how they undermine your.
Yeah, but why would you be dealing with a woman who talks like that?
They could disrespect you respectfully.
Why would you deal with a woman who talks like that, though, Jay? Why would you deal with a woman who talks like that?
No, what I'm saying is, even if you get a woman that talk reckless or a woman that talk very respectful, but she know how to disrespect you without disrespecting you verbally or physically. She can just undermine. You got family with her, and you tell your kid, well, my kid going to this school because it's going to get him this going to benefit him in 10 different ways. Well, she going to go behind your back and put him in a school that don't benefit him shit.
She don't respect you anyway.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Look, we gotta.
Yeah, we're gonna move on, but because Jay Prince, listen, I've already told you what I would like to see from you, but it's gonna require you doing better for yourself. So you might just need to leave women alone for a minute. Just take a fast from women. Get yourself straight. If you need the child support system to help, you need to get you some help for that. Or if you got some information that can help somebody else, you need to share it because you got your kids. It's a lot of men out there that want to have their kids, and you need to share with them how they got them, because we need to get past this child support. And I mean, you can't just keep letting people do stuff to you and you just keep going. You got to start filing some complaints or writing down some notes. And that's what Hink was saying. That's what we started off. You can't keep just letting it go on. If somebody's mistreating you and they work for the courts, somebody needs to hear about it. And if you got to go get a lawyer to do that, then that's what you got to do, because it can't keep going on.
May I say this?
Yes, sir.
The thing about getting your mind right, before you go into dating, that is the most important thing to do, but it's only the first thing to do. Okay. Second thing you need to do is you have to determine, what do you want? Once you get your stuff straight, you have to determine what do you really want. You have to really think about it. Right now, my stage, all I can think about is what I don't want. Okay. Because pretty soon, you when you start to see these women, remember, you're going to be courting these women. You're going to be looking for what you want. Okay. And once you find out about, the woman, the next question you ask yourself is, well, how much sacrifice are you willing to make for that woman? How much? Because some sacrifices have to be made. Now, all these women about these what is it? The specifications? I forgot what you call it.
The stipulations.
Stipulations. That's it. Most of these stipulations are unrealistic. Okay, that's not for you. Now, I mean, if you can afford to meet the stipulations, hey, more power to you. Okay, but most of the time, But that's what it's coming down to. You getting your mind right and understanding what you really want in life.
So Jay Prince, this question is gonna be crazy, but I want you to answer it anyway, okay? Even though somebody said I put you on monk duty. So listen, it says this is the topic of the show. If she came with stipulations, leave her at the restaurant. What do you think about that?
If she came with stipulations, it depends on stipulations, because I do. Now, I'm not saying I'm totally against women, but what I'm saying is, women went through some stuff too. So it depends on the type of stipulations. What do you like? Can you give me some examples? Yeah.
Like if a woman told you to marry me, I have to have a ring that's 3 times your monthly salary. It needs to cost that much. So like if you were made $10,000 a month, the ring needs to be $30,000, or I'm not marrying you.
I'm gonna pour the whole food on her face and walk out the door.
You're gonna catch a case.
No, but I'm pouring a drink on her.
Oh, I thought you said the whole food.
That's still assault either way, bro.
I'm saying I'm gonna throw my whole dinner plate on her and the drink.
Jay Prince, that is not the proper way to respond. You can leave her at the restaurant without doing anything.
I'm being facetious.
No, you're dead serious. Don't lie. Jay,
I'm not dead serious.
Throwing all that on her head. He throwing all that on her.
Hey, look, I definitely want to entertain that. I don't even respect women that come at me like asking me for, like, when we talk about money and stuff. See, a lot of women don't even know how. Men gonna give you money regardless. But it's all about how the woman game is. If you coming out the gate and that's the first thing you talking about is bread, no, we gonna treat you. If the men do want to stay there, they gonna treat you like a prostitute.
Let's get back to the point. Security boss asks you, what stipulations are you willing to accept? Because you said it depends on stipulations. So I'm interested in knowing which ones you're going to accept.
Come on, Trick Daddy.
Yeah, since listen, Aaron,
Come on,
since
Trick Daddy.
he was over there on the dating show the other day.
Yeah, Trick Daddy.
Okay.
What kind of woman he looking for? Yeah.
Okay,
If gonna be somebody Trick Daddy.
Kendra G. He's over on Kendra G.
If a woman say,
he's willing to be a
I don't want no
stepdad.
disrespectful man. No, if a woman say, I don't want no disrespectful man, in order to date me, you got to be respectful to me. You got to be honest with me. And that type of stuff is reasonable.
Would you be a
date a woman with kids? Would you date a woman with kids? No, you didn't. No, you did not. No, you didn't.
Daddy. Yeah. Come on, stepdaddy.
No, I'm not gonna be stepdad.
Yeah, that's what you gonna be.
No, he said he
marry a woman with kids.
No, he told him he wouldn't. He said he didn't want a woman with kids. He wouldn't.
No, security boss. That ain't what he said. He said
I will date it because at my age, I gotta be more realistic. I'm almost 40.
Okay, I was getting ready
40, so women gonna have kids, but again, one time I did explain on the show that my last
answer the goddamn question, Jay.
No, listen, let me give you some context. What I'm trying to say. Like my last daughter mom, she had 2 kids. Now I was living in the house with them, but I wasn't the stepdaddy. I always involved their daddies when like on stuff. I never played daddy. I was just in the house.
You a politician, Jay Prince. Answer
no, I never played daddy. Just because I'm in the house, that don't mean I have to.
No.
Daddy's like,
that ain't what you said the other night.
I didn't discipline them. I didn't do nothing because I'm strong about somebody disciplining my kids.
Answer the question though, man.
Yeah, I would date a woman with kids.
Okay, you said you would marry one.
That's right.
That's what you said on the show the other night.
Yeah, you're gonna be stepdaddy.
Yeah,
I believe you be trolling. I think you trying to drop
that.
He can't stand stepdaddies though, but he's gonna be a stepdaddy.
Jay Prince, hold on for a minute. Hold that thought. Doberman, thank you. Hold your thought. Thank you so much for your $5 super chat. I love Black women. Woo! This being said, the most accomplished Black men I know have the least options among Black women. Racist, Arabs, Chinese, etc. are more cooperative.
He call them Black women terrorists at this point.
He called them terrorists too. That's not true. They are not terrorists out there.
Cold-blooded with that one.
I know.
Listen, if you can't get a Black woman to do as you say, get a woman.
I'm not gonna bother you no more today, but listen, I can't believe you was over there on Kendra G.
Whatever it takes, Aaron.
Talking about
save that for me, Lord.
I can't believe he was over there. Yeah, listen, over there on Kendra G talking about, and she said, "What kind of woman you want?" And what you say? What kind of woman you want? Tell me again. So we all know because we all know.
I said a respectful woman, not loud, not angry, a thick woman, nicely thick. I don't want a woman that's loud.
Not in what you said, Jay Prince. You said
she can have some type of kickback, like I always said.
Yeah. You said she can have a little kickback. I want a thick like you, Kendra. He was sipping like a bug.
I said her kind of shape. I like Kendra. No, Kendra got her shape. My type.
You could have thought of a different woman to say the shape.
I said the same stuff that I be saying on here.
Hey, security boss. He was ready to drink a bath water.
No bullshit. Now you overdoing it. And then too, I was just saying when I got on the show, I didn't really think I was gonna actually be on the show. And when it popped up, boom, I'm on there. So it kind of caught me off guard. I wasn't mentally prepared for the questions that she was asking me. Even though I saw it a couple of times, a whole bunch of times, but I was just, I ain't gonna lie, I was just saying stuff to be nice.
How about that? Stop. How about that? You was enjoying yourself.
I wasn't comfortable being my true self on her show like that.
It's okay. He was. Have a good time, Jay Prince.
He was up there in the chat. Said, "Anybody trying to get at me?"
No, but it was women. It was women started hitting my inbox.
We got to see the.
I got one. This is my last question. I said this already, right? Let me answer. This is my last question, Jay Prince. Was you simping?
What? What did I say? Anything about simping like that was simpish? No.
Because somebody said your eyes got big and your tongue came out your mouth and you.
No, it did do that, but I was just. I wasn't simping though. I wasn't simp.
Stepdaddy.
I was not simping.
Accept your simp card. I'm calling
Accept
Logic.
No.
later
I
on.
wasn't.
Where's Logic at right now? Where's Logic
Okay,
right
you
now?
know what
You know
simping
what he was
is?
doing.
Simping means you willing to put up with stuff that you don't believe in.
Oh, you was. You sit there and say you don't believe in being a stepdaddy, but you sit there and say you'll marry a woman with kids. You're going to be a stepdaddy. You was sipping.
Yeah, sounds like it.
I was just saying some stuff just to try to get
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Stop it, Jay Prince. You was sipping.
You were sipping,
but you got to be more realistic. That don't mean I'm going to be a
I know
stepdad though.
I got you.
You don't have to, just because you got a woman with kids. Like I experienced women with kids, and I wasn't a stepdaddy.
So you just dare to sleep with their mama then, huh?
Yep.
Stepdaddy Jay Prince.
Rather you being a stepdad than do what you did. Because right now you were setting no example for nobody in the house. The young girls had a man in the house that didn't come off being a man. The woman probably felt used, and then you was like, what, just sitting up looking like a king or something?
No, what it was, like, I wasn't disrespecting her mama, their mama, and plus I was cleaning up. I took the kids out, all this other stuff. But I always called their dads and let them know what was going on. Like when she told me not to, I still called, especially when it came down to discipline or even cutting
the grass.
Here, I'm like, hey, I know you live in cutting his son hair.
Oh.
I was like, hey, I know you live out of town, but you think your son kind of need a haircut? You want me to cut it? Or stuff like that. I always ask when dealing with the kids, because I treated that situation as if I wanted how I wanted somebody to
be a good stepdad.
I think that's a respectable stepdad. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
That's not no stepdad. No.
That's what you are. A simple ass stepdad. Yeah. That's cool. That's what you want to be. Accept it.
Jay Prince,
because I got their mama pregnant. I got their mama pregnant within the first week of us dating.
We understand that, man.
There you go, Jay.
You got your stepdaddy.
All right, Jay Prince just went to left.
Call yourself Jay Stepdaddy.
Yeah. No, call him Jay Simp. Jay Simp. I like Jay Simp better.
Jay Simp. Okay.
Oh, no.
That's more fitting.
Y'all can wait for that.
Hey,
Jay
Prince.
Listen, if you see
water through a straw.
I'm not listening, y'all. Y'all can wait.
You listen, you see Hink, you see Hink or you see me, you better start smiling because we got something on you now.
I watched it too. I said, look at my boy Jay Prince. I still
don't agree with the ideology with stepdaddies. I really don't.
It's just a man that is standing in place for where somewhere there's a need. Jay Prince, just because you're not a biological don't mean you can't be the dad. It doesn't mean that. No,
because you know why I'm so bent over that? Because this is the reason why I'm really bent over that. The stepdad.
You hate what you want.
No, it's mainly because our women always try to put down fathers, and they want to do everything to replace the dads. They always disrespect the dads. They even saying stepdaddies is better than the. Here it is. I'm a man. Take care of my daddy. Oh, you don't get take care of my kids. Oh, you don't get no reward. Kendra said that. You don't get no rewards for that. But yet y'all sitting up here propping up dudes. Stepdaddies that came to Captain Save for your fucked up the decision that you made. You decided to have kids by 6 different dudes. You decided to have 6 kids by 6 different dudes. Now this step simp.
Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Let me ask one more question. We're gonna call you Simp Daddy. We're gonna call you
Simp Daddy. Like that.
But listen, Jay Prince.
I ain't Step Daddy, Simp Daddy.
We've been here. Listen, he's Simp Daddy. Yeah, that's how you're gonna introduce yourself. But Jay Prince, listen, you're gonna have to work on your mindset, brother, because listen, a man is a man. You gotta respect him no matter what form or what role he's coming in. There's nothing wrong with a man being a stepfather if he sees a need. Why
not respect the fathers?
We respect them too. I'm not.
They don't though.
No, I'm here. You the one talking. I ain't talking to the stepdad. I don't know what the stepdad is doing.
No, but if you
respect them,
man, if you got 6 baby daddies, right? Security boss, I ain't mean to cut you off. If you got 6 baby daddies, that's 6 different chances you can try to make it up with them. Not to go try to find a step nigga to come in and play daddy. But you got 6 of them out there.
I got a question. Where you fit in at the 6? Which one were you?
Huh?
What's wrong with you?
I was
What's your daddy gonna do?
My
We gonna
first-
go, we
my
gonna
first
do what
one,
he
I was
gotta
the
do. We gonna
second.
bring home that milk and bread.
Listen, you was the second one with the first one. Okay, why didn't you just wipe her up and be done with all of
Why
this?
do we always
You
gotta
wouldn't
wipe
have the
up
mother
something?
full.
Clearly,
That's the answer for me.
clearly, she was a whore.
Oh, what? But how can you say that? You were one too. Now stop. We're not gonna do
but
this.
what I'm saying is, see, women can't.
We're not gonna do this,
We
Jay
talk
Prince.
about double security boss. We talk about double standards. It's
No, we're
certain
not.
stuff that
I'm not
women
doing
can do.
double standard.
It's
I'm
certain
not
stuff-
doing.
it's
I'm not
certain
doing
stuff
double
that we
standard
can do
because
that men
Good
can't.
boy.
no, she can't. She's not. She don't get kudos for that. But I'm saying you were baby daddy number two.
Right.
Being baby daddy number two, you could have married the young woman and made her, huh? You could have made her. You could have made her a good woman being daddy number two. And guess what? You would have been protected, not been in the child support system, probably wouldn't have had less misdemeanors. You probably had a smile on your face right now. Is this the one that had the trucking business with you? I mean, the security business with you?
No, that was my ex-fiance. She don't got no kids.
Anyway, my whole point is your life probably would have turned out different if you would have wiped her up. Because remember, wives help with this kind of situation. Women, we good for stuff, you know, even though we hear all the time that we're not valued. That's not true. And if you're dealing with women that are not valuable, you need to change the type of woman that you deal with.
I only dated, security boss, with that one, my first one, I only dated her for a week and she got pregnant.
That's okay. You could have went back.
I didn't even know her name. When they came to me 4 years later, I really didn't even know her name.
What?
I didn't know her name.
You just call her a what?
Huh?
Wait a minute. Hold on. You're going way too fast. You're going way too fast. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Hey, somebody said in the chat that JP said I sip, but I only sip a little bit.
Jay Prince, listen, I'm gonna hear this story, then I'm gonna let you go because I've been here long enough. But I think this is gonna go down in history right here. You dated the woman for 1 week.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't know her name, or you didn't get to know her enough to remember her name. Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't know her name.
Okay.
We were just I was working at a college and she was going to college. And I thought she came approached me, so I thought I caught me a little college girl. And after she got out of school and I got off work, because when college ended and I ended, so we went by her house. He said, "You want to hang out?" I said, "Yeah, what's in it?" We went by her house, we hung out, we did our little thing, and we was kicking it for about a good week. And I went my way, she went her way. Then her friend came calling me, talking about she was pregnant.
How long ago? How long? Like within the 9 months? Within the 9 months? You found out within the 9 months she was pregnant?
I found out she was pregnant within the second month. But then I tried to say, okay, well, I'm happy because this is my first child, so I'm happy trying to be there. She skipped town, skipped state. So I went down to my courts. At that time, I went to my courts. And I said, hey, it's a woman out here saying she's pregnant by me and all this other stuff. They asked me, what's her name? We probably could possibly place a warrant on her and stuff like that. And I didn't have no name to give them.
You went down to the courts and say it's a woman. You just went down to the court system and said it's a woman. Out here,
I know it sounds crazy, but I was trying to be there at the time. But then when she did have the baby, I went by her granny house where we had sex at initially. I went by her grandma's house and I was banging on the door. And like I said, I came in with all my guys and stuff. And she told me, her grandmama told me, she said that baby looked just like you.
Hold on.
I heard.
You said you came out with all your guys.
No, because I was trying to talk to the mama.
So you got a bunch of dudes with you? What conversation you gonna have with a bunch of dudes with you?
No, because she was making threats about her family if I come over there.
So
I was trying to come over there. At that fast forward, like
you came over with your
fourth
backup.
month.
But you don't even know her name though. That doesn't. Wait a minute.
No, I'm saying when I went, I still knew where her granny stayed, but she already done. Her grandmama told her if she got pregnant again, she was gonna have to get out. So she told me all this stuff later. But when I came on her granny house, she was already living in a different city. So
wait a minute, but you couldn't stop by. You couldn't say granny. What's her name? You still couldn't get the name then?
Her grandma wouldn't give me. She told her granny not to give me no information. The only thing her grandma told me that baby looked just like me. I said, well, she told me that the baby was a white man's baby. She said the baby was a white man's baby. She said no, that baby looked just like you. Then 4 years later, I lost total contact with her. I ended up going to jail after that. But then when I got out, I lost all of that. And my sister said, "Well, if you really a father of a child, women usually not gonna want you there. That baby probably ain't yours."
Did you say the baby looked like the white man's baby, bro?
No, her mama. No, my baby mama. My baby mama.
You blamed the white man on the baby.
No,
Then you said the baby looked like you.
You
The
didn't hear
baby
me.
looked like you, but looked like the white man.
The baby mama, my baby mama told me that was a white man's baby.
But it looked like.
I never had seen the baby till 4 years later.
I'm still confused. I'm going back. I gotta go. You gotta help me out just a little bit. I'm going back.
How dark was this white man?
But wait a minute. No. Stop. Hold on. We got to do it. Thank you so much, Riding the Six, because this is confusing me because Jay Prince, you said that you went to the grandma house, unless I'm not following right. You said it was about 4 months later, and you said the grandma said 4 months later that the baby looked like you. Now I'm just trying to figure out how anybody have a baby 4 months later.
No, what I'm saying is, after the baby was born, I came by her granny house because her.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Then what happened at 4 months? Something happened at 4 months.
No, I'm saying 4 months after the baby was born.
Oh,
I mean, like 4 months, like after. Damn, you done lost my train of thought. Okay.
Don't even worry about it. Because I'm not.
Hold on. Okay.
For that baby, I know it.
When the baby was born, because her friend, my baby mama friend, knew my number through her. She kept calling me, starting shit. But I went when she told me the baby was born, all this other stuff. I went by her grandma's house. And this was me and her mama was arguing. I was arguing with her friend and her, and talking about if I come over there, this gonna happen to me. So we went over there, a lot of guns and stuff like that.
Oh, okay, I'm done. Hold on.
Okay, we ain't gonna talk about that. But I went over there.
You regulated. You call your regulators, huh?
Wait a minute, Jay. Hold on. Hold that story. God. And we still don't even know her name. And you still don't know her name.
He don't know her name, but he know he had to bring some guns and
a whole bunch of people. Hold on, stop. I can't even do it. Riding the Six. Thank you so much for your $13.99 super chat. It was very well needed and welcome. I am actually willing to pay to make this stop. You get the money line.
Give me mine. Going up, we know the climb. I'ma run it every time. Give me mine. Going up, we know the climb.
Yeah.
Regulator.
But I can say this. We done. I just want to say this. When I found out that I had a kid, and really found out and got the chance to touch my kid, I gave up my lifestyle, and I've been there ever since. I'm still here to this day.
You stopped hanging out with your boys that had to mount up with the pistol?
I stopped hanging out with everybody, and it's been focused on me and my kids.
Very good. Thank you, Jay Prince.
I've been holding it down for about 5 or 6 years.
Thank you for ending that very well. Thank you so much. That one, buddy. Well, listen, guys, we have been here for 3 hours and 30 minutes, and it's been an outstanding show. Jay Prince, I appreciate you for ending it so brilliantly. That was well. Listen, nobody can do it but you.
Daddy.
You doggone right, but I'm not no simp.
Oh, no, you simp daddy. Well, listen, chat, I love it. I love the fact that you're here. Thank you so much for being here. It was an outstanding show. We in, everybody's laughing and having fun. This is what we want. Pink, I appreciate so much your candidness, talking to Jay Prince. Jay Prince, you need to listen to these men. I appreciate you listening. I appreciate it. DP, we got to get you a wife. She's coming. She's coming. I got you.
Trying to be a simp daddy?
We got to stop doing that.
We appreciate your wisdom so much, and we appreciate that you're here and always welcome to come back. And everybody in the live, before we go, let's get these likes up to 100, please. Let's get them up. Hit that like button. What they call them, ninja watchers. Ninja watchers, hit that like button. Don't talk about it. Just hit that like button.
All these people calling me a simp.
Simp daddy, y'all get it right. Simp daddy. We gonna forget that JP simp daddy. Let
Oh,
Kendra-
wait, the G episode. I ain't seen it
let
yet.
Kendra call you a simp. Can Kendra call you a simp?
No, Kendra cannot call me no damn.
You call her whatever she want to.
Yes, she can. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Riding the Six, I appreciate you so much for all you do, and you are so welcome and a definitely added pleasure for SB Nation. Shelby, I'm so glad you made it. All of you, Luke Hazley, I can't call all y'all names, but you know I love that you all are here. And guess what? If I didn't tell you, the standard Sunday at 6 p.m. Y'all got to be here. I appreciate it. And y'all have a good night. A good rest of the day.
All the simp daddies.
You're off. Sorry, Mom. I just thought you were my
No simp daddy.
You're not. And I'm just sitting, smoking, sloping in the days, because my days ain't been the same since I drove here. I remember the way you wrote letters in blue ink. You and me was in love. Think about what your crew think. I know your moms probably think I'm a bastard. Your pops probably want to beat my death and take a in my casket. But I got sick of fighting, bickering, fussing over nothing, cussing. Instead of watching the death of discussions that we once had, days that we once spent in the backseat of our cars reading poets at sunset. It's funny how love can fall out the foreground, get pushed into the back of your mind. We used to twist a spliff and laugh and relax. Now you crying, and I'm trying to find the reasons. So I ask, does forever ever happen, or is it always fade to black?
I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul. On the road, I can't stay. No, I always gotta go. Playing house, this ain't a home with my soul.